Good evening, everyone. Hello and welcome to the Goal Show Live. We are back once again for a new edition of the show. Of course, we're at match day 4 of the competition, and it's going to be an interesting one. It's been a few weeks, of course, since we've been here with the Champions League, and we've got plenty of action to come your way as we are into those final 3 match days. We will know very, very shortly who is going to be in the knockout stages. In fact, we could potentially know tonight with some of the teams across the board. Now, as we said, usually when we go live, there's a few other games going on in the background. There has just been a 95th minute winner in the game between Krasnodar and Sevilla. So I am updating the live scores as we go along. But as you can see, the 4 boys are on the screen. I thought I'd change it up tonight. We'll keep all the boys on the screen. As we said, kickoff is around 10 minutes away. There is some very big fixtures to cover tonight indeed. But without further ado, we'll go into those games. We'll look through the teams. We'll talk through those matches. And hopefully we should get plenty of action across the board tonight. So let's start off with the first game, the main game that I'm going to be covering tonight, which is PSG, who are taking on RB Leipzig. This should be a very good match indeed, of course. PSG losing 3-2 in their game against Monaco at the weekend in Ligue 1. Starting in goal is Kevin Navas, a back 4 of Bacca, Diallo, Marquinhos and Florenzi. A midfield 3 of Ander Herrera, nearly said Hector again, I always do that all the time, De La Pereira and Paredes. And then up top is Neymar, Mbappe and Di Maria. So should be interesting to see how those guys do indeed. And then in that 4-3-3 formation, this time for RB Leipzig, it's Galatsky in goal, back 4 of Angelino, Canate, Upamecano and Mukiele. Midfield 3 of Forsberg, Haidara and Sabitzer. And then a front 3 of Dani Olmo, Poulsen and Nkunku. Now, remember the last time these two sides played out, PSG did get 2 red cards. One of them did involve Kimpembe, which therefore means he's ineligible for tonight's match. And then there was another red card in that game as well. Can't quite remember who got it. I think it was Idrissa Gana Gueye who got it in the end. So 2 red cards means they're down 2 players tonight. Should be an interesting game indeed. And that's the match I am going to be covering tonight indeed. So before we go into the other game, let's have a quick look at the chat and see how you guys are doing. Chris has put, hi lads, hope you are all well. Thank you very much for joining us as always, Chris. Jesseland has just gone mental in the chat, I assume, over that Sevilla winning goal a moment ago. Of course, they've just won that match 2-1. Pete is in the chat as always. Andy loves singing A Christmas Carol. He's bringing the festive jokes, which Kieran will certainly love throughout the entirety of the night. You can see Brown's reaction, maybe not the same way as Kieran celebrating, which means we're going to move straight on to that next game, which is actually going to be covered by Kieran D, of course, with the Champions League. It also brings back Manchester United's very tough group. We spoke a moment ago about that game between RB Leipzig and PSG. It's paramount for both of those sides to go on and win that match no matter what happens. As for Manchester United, they faced off against Istanbul Basaksehir in their previous game. They didn't get a victory, however, so tonight will be crucial at home at Old Trafford. Kieran D, as you can see on the screen, it's a 4-2-3-1 tonight. De Gea's in goal, back 4 of Alex Telles, Maguire, Lindelof and Wan-Bissaka. Defensive midfield 2 of Van de Beek and Fred. Attacking midfield 3 of Rashford, Fernandes, Martial and up top Cavani. Before I go into that Basaksehir lineup, does that look like a much better team for you? Quite a strong front 4 tonight.
Yeah, I think we're quite strong all across the park, to be honest. It's probably one of our strongest 11s we've had all year, but interesting to see where everyone lines up, if it is a 4-2-3-1 or if Martial and Rashford are closer towards Cavani and almost like a conventional 4-3-3.
It'd be interesting to see indeed. Of course, we'll talk a little bit more about that game in a second because, as I said a moment ago, we've still got to look at that Istanbul Basaksehir lineup. Of course, they did beat Manchester United in their previous Champions League fixture. They're lining up tonight with a 4-5-1 and there's some recognisable Premier League stars across the board. As you can see, Gunnock is in goal, a back 4 of bowling goalie Upreniu, Skirtle and former Manchester United player himself, Raphael. Midfield 5 of Chadley, Kavechi, Ozkan, Turek and Vishka. And up top is the man who scored against Manchester United before, Barr, of course, Demba Barr, formerly of Newcastle United. Do you think it could linger in the minds tonight, Kieran D, with the loss against Basaksehir, that there's going to be a bit of added pressure tonight to go out there and win this game?
I think there's always pressure in the Champions League, no matter who you are or who you face. I think our players have got to show up tonight because those players can hurt us, as we saw in the first game.
Definitely do indeed. Big match tonight. Thank you very much, KD, as always. There is another game going on tonight, which I will be covering in the background. That is Juventus, who are taking on Ferencvaros. This is another interesting game tonight, of course, for Juventus. Battered Ferencvaros. It was 5-0 in the end in their first game a couple of weeks ago. It's a 4-4-2 tonight for Juventus. Szczesny is in goal. Back four of Alexandro, De Ligt, Danilo, and Cuadrado. Midfield for Bernardeschi, Arthur, Bentancur, and Weston McKennie. And then up top tonight is Ronaldo, and the man who actually scored 2 goals against Ferencvaros when he came off the bench. That is Paulo Dybala. And then tonight, Ferencvaros, they've got nothing to lose. They must win this game tonight if they do want to at least try and get a Europa League spot, of course. They're going to come up against Ferencvaros. They will come up against Dynamo Kiev again next week, I believe. And it's a 5-2-3 for Ferencvaros tonight, the Hungarians. Debush is in goal, back 5 of Heister, Diwali, Frimpong, Blasic, and Lovrencic. Midfield 2 of Somalia and Sager. And then up top in that front 3 is Tokmak, Nguyen, Izuni, and Zubkov. They don't have to fear anything tonight, the Hungarians. As I said before, for them, it is now all about trying to get that Europa League spot, which will certainly come down to that match against Dynamo Kiev. Should be a very, very interesting game indeed. And a 5-2-3, very unconventional formation, but it could lead to potential counter-attacks tonight. Now, very quickly, before we go on to the other ones, Peter is chucking in as many jokes as he possibly can before we get into kick-off. Tony is currently on a cruise. Diego loves a hot chocolate from Costa. And Dynamo loves a chicken Kiev, which, of course, will be coming on to that Kiev game in a moment, because we have also got the game between Lazio and Zenit. And he might like Granit Xhaka, he might like Northern Ireland, but he's also got a fond loving for Zenit and Sardar Azmoun as well. Covering this game tonight is going to be Kieran L. How are we doing?
I'm doing fantastic. All the better knowing he's on the bench. How about you?
Oh, fantastic indeed. And, well, certainly bringing the jokes tonight, Peter, as well. But there's no jokes tonight from Zenit. As you said, Sardar Azmoun is on that bench. But as you can see on the screen, it's a 3-5-2 tonight for Lazio. They've got a lot of their players back. Remember, the last time these two sides played, Lazio had a massive coronavirus surge within their players, hence why they had a lot of players missing. But tonight, Pepe Reina continues his run in goal after an impressive couple of weeks in goal due to Skorcia's coronavirus spell out. Back three of Patrick, Hoydert and Acerbi. There's no Luis Felipe tonight. He's not been risked after only recently just coming back from coronavirus himself. Midfield 5, Lazzari, Parolo, Lucas Leiva, Luis Alberto and Marasic make up that midfield 5. And then up top, of course, is the ever-present front 2 of Chiro, Immobile and Correa. Be interested to see how Joaquin does up top tonight. And then, as you perfectly said, Azmoun is back on the bench after a month's spell out with an injury, but he won't be starting tonight. 3-5-2 for them because Kurzakov is in goal. Back three of Zirkov, Rakitsky and Dejan Lovren. Midfield 5 of Mostovoy, Douglas Santos, Barrios, Kuziev and the former Barcelona winger Malcolm. And then up top tonight, Edekin. And for the first time in quite a while, Juba is back. You might have heard of a certain situation he got himself into before the international break. Less said about that if you know about it. So tonight, of course, both teams line up, Kieran, with a 3-5-2. Lazio getting a lot of their players back. Do you think it could be a crucial game tonight? Because, of course, it's quite a tricky group, this one, isn't it, with Dortmund and Bruges?
Yeah, it's important for both sides because Zenit, minimum they want is a Europa League spot, but currently that's a little bit out of their reach with Club Bruges having a 3-point advantage. So if they can gain some ground tonight, that'd be really important. But as you said, Lazio have a lot of their players back. A lot of them big men, we're having the likes of Immobile and Jack and Correa. There's going to be goals in this team. But Zenit have their few stars as well. Juba will leave his off-the-pitch antics for another reason. But in terms of a striker, he's always a problem. And Malcolm, we know what he can do when he was at Bordeaux. Yet to see that again. But if he has a good night tonight, there's no reason that they can't pick up a point or test this Lazio side because they've not been that impressive so far.
They certainly haven't. Indeed, thank you very much, Kieran, as always. We'll be going through the Champions League groups, of course, in a little bit. Kyle's but hey, guys, how are we all doing this evening? Welcoming Kyle. Hope you're all as good as always. Good to see you in the stream. And then Peter's put Chiro 1 and Immobile. And Kyle has a secret brother called Ant Middleton. He's bringing all the jokes out tonight. We love to see it. And he's put Rowan loves Rowan. He's getting desperate now. I mean, Rowan, there's a slight smile there for Rowan. I think he's... He doesn't want to smile, do you, Rowan, at that one?
I think that was a desperation there, Peter. I appreciate the effort. The Costa one did make me laugh. I'll give him that.
Give him credit indeed. And of course, Rowan, tonight you're covering the game between Dortmund and Bruges. Looking at those lineups, 4-2-3-1 for the German side tonight. Berkey is in goal, back four of Guerrero, Hummels, Akanji and Munier. Midfield two, Delaney and Bellingham. Front three of Reina, Hazard and Sancho. Technically it's a front four because Haaland is in there as well. He did score 4 goals at the weekend against Hertha Berlin, so he's hungry to score more goals tonight, no doubt, in the Champions League, as he is currently the Champions League top scorer, I believe, with 6 goals. And then Bruges, as he stands there with a 3-5-2 tonight. Mignolet is in goal, back three of Deli, Kasunu and Clinton Mata. Midfield 5 of De Ketelaere, Balanta, Vanaken, Vormer and Diatta. And then up top tonight is Kremčić and Lang. As we said before with Kieran and Rowan, this group is fairly tight, to be honest. All 4 teams doing quite respectively well against each other. But for Dortmund tonight, as I said earlier, big win at the weekend against Hertha Berlin 5-2. Haaland scoring 4 goals. This is a must-win game tonight.
Yeah, I mean, they beat them 3-0 on the previous fixture, so they'll definitely use that as ammunition. Same with the 5-2 win over Hertha, quite convincing. Discipline maybe a little bit. They did give away that penalty late on, which Cunha did put away. But yeah, for them, it's just getting the result, repeating what you did think. And for Club Brugge, again, they didn't play awful. It was the second half, they were very good defensively, just them 3 first half goals really let them down. So if they can do what they did in the second half last game, but just do it for the full 90 minutes, they could contain them because they proved that they can. Both teams are coming off wins as well, so momentum is definitely on both sides' favour. But I think you look at the Dortmund side, you would always go Dortmund as favourites, but if you take it into where they played before, Club Brugge have got a chance.
They certainly do indeed. Now, these games are about to just kick off. We are getting underway in a moment with the game between PSG and RB Leipzig. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to take you guys off the screen. I'm going to talk through the last game, which is another game that I'm going to keep my eyes out on. And of course, what we'll do is we'll bring the boys back as the goals do go in. So thank you very much, lads. In fact, what I'll do very quickly is score predictions for the match, as we always like to do. Rowan, I'll start with you. Dortmund Bruges, what are you going for?
3-1 Dortmund.
3-1 Dortmund. Kieran L, of course, you've got Lazio Zenit. What are you feeling tonight?
1-1 off the bench.
Is that Sardar Azmoun by any chance?
I'll leave it up to it. It might be Muzayev. You never know.
Might be Felipe Caicedo as well. 1-1 in that game. Interested to see. And then Kieran D, Manchester United, Istanbul Basaksehir. What are you feeling tonight?
3-1 Man United.
3-1. Comprehensive indeed. Thank you very much, boys. As always, we will bring you back in a little bit. But as for now, of course, I've still got one more game to go through, and we are underway across the board in tonight's fixtures. I've got 3 matches to keep my eyes out on, which is always good for me. It keeps me nice and busy. As we have a look at the chat, and Peter's put, Simon loves a good deli. I'll give you credit on that one this time. But let's go to the last game, Kiev Barcelona. That's just kicked off a moment ago. As you can see, it's a 4-3-3 tonight for the Ukrainians, and they've got a very good chance of winning this match. Bushan is in goal. Back forward, Karavayev, Mikolenko, Zabani, and Kedziora. Midfield 3 of Denis Garmash, Bialski, and Shepeliev. And then a front 3 tonight of Depenya, Verbic, and Shaparenko. Shigankov is not in the side tonight, which is certainly a big miss for the Ukrainian side. They did very well in their previous game against Barcelona because it was a 2-1 loss to them, where they very nearly could have won the match late on in the game. But tonight is probably the biggest chance that they will ever get to get a result against Barcelona, because it is a weakened squad tonight. It's been a bit of a change for them. Koeman with a bit of a shuffle around the back. Ter Stegen is in goal. Back forward of Firpo, Longley, Mingueza and Dest. Defensive midfield 2 of Lenia and Pjanic. Front 3 of Pedro Coutinho and Trincao. And then up top is Martin Braithwaite. I will talk about that game in a moment's time, because we have had our first chance of the night, and we are going to be going over to Rowan, because there's already been a chance of the game between Dortmund and Bruges. Who's had that first chance, Rowan?
It was Dortmund, and it was straight from the back. Delaney plays a lovely ball through to Raphael Guerrero, who pushes up as he usually does, squares it across just into the box, and Haaland just hits it on the volley, just narrowly misses the post, but so close. Dortmund looking very tasty this afternoon.
Very good start indeed. Thank you very much, Rowan. As always, 2 minutes into that match, and as it currently stands, it's still 0-0 in that game, waiting for the first goal of the match. We've had our first yellow card of the match already today, Forsberg going into the book. And I was going to talk about this game, but we're going to have to wait a second, because we're going to go up to KD now, because there's also been a good chance in the game between Manchester United and Istanbul Basaksehir. Who's had that first chance, Kieran?
Well, what a good start to this game. Very fast from both sides. Manchester United had the chance, and it was a really good chance for Marcus Rashford. Picked it up about 40 yards out, and he did one of those driving runs that he's known so well for doing. He drove into the box, step overs, took 2 players out, and his shot was just straight at the goalkeeper, unfortunately for him, though. Still 0-0.
Still 0-0. Thank you very much, KD, as always. 0-0 in that match as it currently stands. But let's quickly talk about this Kiev Barcelona game. As I said, it's the biggest chance tonight for Kiev to go out there and get a win. Of course, it's a very weak side. No Messi in the squad, so we won't see him come on in this game at all. The likes of Dembele, Busquets, De Jong, all not in the side tonight or on the bench, which therefore means tonight, if Dynamo Kiev want to get a win and try and push towards those Europa League spots, this is the biggest chance they are going to have to get to those positions. So there we go. There's the games covered for now. We will look at the groups in a little bit. But it looks like we've had our first goal of the night, and the first goal of the game has gone to that match between Lazio and Zenit. The question is, have the home side got off to a winning start, or have Zenit taken the lead? Kieran?
It's the home side, it's Lazio, and it's a wonderful goal. And you know where it's going to come from, Josh? It's that man, Ciro Immobile. He picks it up with his back to goal on the edge of the box. He takes it to the left, a couple of touches on the edge of the box, shoots across himself. It's so difficult to get this technique. Floats it right over the keeper, and it's a lovely goal to make it 1-0.
Certainly an impressive goal indeed. The way he's gone and hit it, I don't think many people would have expected that to go into the back of the net. But in that situation, Kurzkopf, he's not even diving, is he, Kieran?
No, it's one of them where all the keeper can do is, look, and before he knows it, it's over the top of him and into the back of the net. I couldn't really describe it to you because not many people can pull off that technique of hitting it back across yourself and over the goalkeeper from the edge of the box. Wonderful goal, and hopefully it's not floodgates.
Hopefully not. Thank you very much indeed, Kieran Al. We've had our first goal of the night. Lazio taking the lead against Zenit St. Petersburg 1-0, and it is a cracker of a goal from Ciro Immobile in that match. Definitely worth checking out if you haven't seen the goal. There was no chance Kurzkopf was going to be able to save the shot from the in-form Italian, of course. He's had a little bit of time out because of coronavirus, but he's back in the team today. And it's certainly a big opportunity for him to make his name. And, of course, he's already got the goal in the match, which is something you certainly want to do indeed. Chris put the chat off topic. Jose de Souza, that's my comment. What a player. Incredible darts player indeed. Great performance from him tonight in the darts. And Callas, but always wanted to know this, but why do people pronounce the football club Derby as Derby? Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting question. I mean, the place Derby, the actual place itself, it's called Derby, hence why people pronounce it like that. Obviously, I know is it Derby? Technically, that's the pronunciation if you were to take it at face value, but the actual place itself is called Derby, hence why everybody tends to call it Derby County, who, of course, are in a takeover situation right now. But that is the first goal of the night in that game between Lazio and Zenit St. Petersburg. If you are new to the channel, welcome along to the Goal Show. If it's the first time that you've been here, we do this for every single Champions League match week. Keep you up to date with all of the goals across the board in these Champions League fixtures. And, of course, when we get to knockout stages next year, we'll be covering all those games live separately. Should be interesting to see what goes on in those Champions League fixtures. Of course, those later stages, it'll be easier to do it. In the earlier stages, we will be covering every game courtesy of our knockout stage Goal Show, hence why they'll be back in February time. But we've got 3 weeks of action this week, next week, and the week after. And then that is it. The group stages of the Champions League are done and dusted. And then we're into that Christmas period of club football. But as I said, what we're going to do tonight, the main game is PSG versus Leipzig. And in these first few minutes, it has been Leipzig that has dominated the match. Remember, as I said before, PSG, they lost 3-2 at the weekend in an incredible Liga fixture when Monaco came back from 2 goals down. And, of course, PSG tonight, they're going to be hungry because, remember, one of these 3 sides, either Man U, PSG or Leipzig, is going to be dropping down into the Europa League. And let's be honest, all 3 of those teams, if they do go down into the Europa League, they will be expected to go on and win the competition no matter what happens. So big pressure on that side of the group tonight. And as I said, we are going to be covering the groups, having a look at each group and kind of seeing how things are going along while all the games are a little bit quiet. So let's get those tables and standings up, because as it currently stands, we do actually have our first teams officially confirmed tonight going through to the knockout stages. But I'm going to stop here for a quick second because we have had our second goal of the night. Let me take it off the screen because we're going over to Kieran D. Manchester United, Istanbul Basaksehir. Remember the last time we spoke about these two sides in the games a couple of weeks ago? It was Basaksehir winning. The question is, have they got off to a bright start, or are Manchester United in the lead? Kieran D.
No, it's an absolute howitzer from Bruno Fernandes. Oh my God, what a goal. How he's hit that with that much power and pace. Corner comes in from Alex Telles. It's nodded away from Cavani. And Bruno Fernandes on the volley, edge of the area, smacks it past the goalkeeper. Ooh. Great start. Great goal. 1-0.
What a goal indeed. He's absolutely whacked that. I mean, as Alan Partridge says, he's hit that like a traction engine. That is an unbelievable goal from Bruno Fernandes. Perfect start for Manchester United. Thank you very much indeed, as always, KD. Manchester United won, Istanbul Basaksehir 0. And I was saying earlier about Immobile's goal being an absolute cracker. You've got to check your eyes out at that one, because that is a pile driver of a goal from Bruno Fernandes. And that is a big opportunity for Manchester United to get a foothold in this game. Goal of the night by Kudjumala. We've got a penalty here in the PSG Leipzig game. Di Maria going down in the box. Sabitzer being adjudged to have fouled Di Maria in the box. Bit harsh in my opinion, to be honest, but it looks like it's going to stand. The referee is just checking the situation out here, just in case, of course, VAR can intervene in these situations. But it looks like it's going to stand. And Neymar has put the ball down on the penalty spot. Could this be a big chance for PSG to put those Ligue 1 Blues away from the previous weekend's action and take a lead in this match against RB Leipzig? They've been fairly quiet for the first 10 minutes of action, but they won't care if they get a lead in this match. The penalty will stand, and Neymar is up against Galacki. Can Galacki be the hero in this situation? Big chance here. Let's find out what happens. Referee just sorting out the players on the touchline. He's blown his whistle, and Neymar is just taking his time here to compose himself. Really is taking a long time. Here we go. The penalty will now be taken. What's he going to do? Neymar steps up to the spot. It's a really slow walk up. He's walking to the ball, takes a few stutters, and it's not the greatest penalty in the world, but it doesn't matter to Neymar because he's put it into the bottom right-hand corner, and somehow Galacki hasn't been able to get a touch on the ball, and it's 1-0 to Paris Saint-Germain. And as I said, not the greatest penalty in the world, I have to admit. The stutter there really took a little bit too long than I thought it was going to take, but it doesn't matter because Neymar has his French team 1-0 or PSG 1, Leipzig 0, and they still had a quiet start indeed, but they are 1-0 to the good in that fixture. Good start across the board in tonight's matches. Good. Well, I was about to say, well, it really wasn't a good penalty, to be honest. I'm really surprised that Galacki didn't get a touch, but unfortunately for Galacki, he just moved a little bit to his left-hand side before Neymar had hit it to the right. He'd gone the right way, but because of that little stutter to the left, it just meant he wasn't able to get a touch on the ball. And therefore, if he'd have not taken that step, he probably would have saved it. But they won't care either way because they're coming forward here. Nkunku on the wing. Could be an instant equaliser. Lob the ball off towards the path of Haidara. Laid off towards Sabitzer. Oh, he's taken a volley from outside of the box and so nearly ended up in the back of the net. That was a massive chance there for the Austrian to equalise in this game after about 30 seconds. The ball's ricocheted off Marquinhos and it has gone out for a corner. So we will look at the group stages and how he's panned out in a moment, because we could have a chance here for an instant equaliser. And Nkunku flicks the ball in towards the path of Mukiele, and that is a good save from Kieran Amas. We've got another corner, which is going to be coming into the box in a moment. Good start here in this match. Plenty of opportunities across the board in this game for both sides early on to try and nick a goal. Of course, PSG already getting a goal. RB Leipzig looking to get an equaliser. So the second corner comes in, and Nkunku trying to get the ball in there. There's calls for a handball from the RB Leipzig players, but the referee isn't going to give it in the end. Poulsen looking a little bit shocked, and it will go out of play for a goal kick. And to be honest, it's the right decision there from the referee. But we are going to go over to KD because there has been another goal in his game. What a start to the match tonight. In fact, it's not going to be given as a goal. It's been given as offside. We're going to go over to Kieran D anyway. Let's talk through what's happened. Could have Manchester United been 2-0 up, Kieran?
Yeah, we could have been. It's definitely going to go to VAR anyway because it is inches, I think. Marcus Rashford's put the ball in the back of the net. Bruno Fernandes put it through. And as Gunnock is stretching. Rashford has put it through his legs. It's a really good finish. The linesman obviously had his flag out. I think it's going to go to VAR. Of course, I'm watching it without audio, so I've got no real sense of direction with where this is going. I think it might have been disallowed.
I mean, I'm looking at it now, and from where I see, it looks like it's offside, but I'm not VAR, so I can't exactly say what's going to happen. But
check over. 1-0.
Offside. Thank you very much, KD. As always, 1-0 still to Manchester United. Could have been 2, but it sounds like there's going to be plenty more opportunities in the game for the home side to grab a few more goals in this match. Certainly been a very good start indeed for Bruno Fernandes, who nearly got a goal and an assist to his name after 12 minutes. And if you haven't seen Bruno Fernandes' goal tonight already, it's definitely probably going to be up there for goal of the season in the Champions League. It is an absolute pile driver of a volley from outside the box in that match. Certainly well worth checking out indeed. Kaz put glory, Bruno Fernandes. Where would United be without him? Honestly, I think there'd be a whole host of Manchester United fans thinking the same right now. And then Peter's put, did you know a stream has a backyard? Oh, we're trying to get a StreamYard joke in there. We like it. Very good indeed. But we're going to go over to KD because there has been another chance in his game between Manchester United and Istanbul Basaksehir here. Is it another chance for United or Istanbul trying to get back into the game, Kieran?
No, it was another chance for United, another chance for that man, Bruno Fernandes, who just picked it up outside the area after a lovely bit of link-up between Van der Beek and Cavani. Picks up outside the area. Of course, he's only got one thing on his mind. He's going to hit it, and it just goes about a yard wide. But Istanbul have surrendered possession of the football, and they're just allowing too much space for Van der Beek and Fred to get on the ball. I mean, there needs to be a big change for them in the second half or so.
There definitely does indeed. Not the greatest of starts at Old Trafford for the Turkish side tonight, but they are still only 1-0 down. Could have been 2-0 a few moments ago. Thank you very much, KD. As always, Bruno Fernandes looking like he wants to get as many goals and assists as he possibly can tonight. But there's a good chance here in the PSG game because Mbappe's come forward. Lays the ball towards Neymar at the edge of the box. He's just got a bit of an awkward touch of the ball. Mbappe goes for the bicycle kick, and it's just wide of the mark. And I'll tell you one thing, this has certainly been a very good start to this match. Both teams looking hungry to try and get goals in these games. And well, PSG probably not had as many chances as RB Leipzig, but they're looking very confident, making the most of those minimal opportunities. Of course, you would expect them tonight to be on the front foot, considering they are at home, but we'll have to find out as this game continues on. We are now 15 minutes into these matches tonight. And as I said, we will look at the group stages and how it currently stands across the board in a moment's time. But Kaz put no pen yet. There's still plenty of time to get one. Man, you haven't had a pen as of yet, Ronaldo, but they certainly have had a very good start indeed. And while things have gone just a little bit quiet in this game, let's have a quick talk about those group stages and pretty much how they currently stand. So as I said before, the 2 games that were played in the group with Chelsea have already been played tonight, as you can currently see on the screen. Both Chelsea and Sevilla are through to the next stages of the UEFA Champions League after big wins tonight for both sides. Giroud with a late winning goal in his match. There was a 95th minute winner in the game between Sevilla and Krasnodar, which means they're both confirmed to go through. It's now a race between Rennes and Krasnodar for who will go through into the Europa League stages, which will be certainly a very interesting fixture between those two sides coming up at some point later on. As he currently stands in Group F with Lazio scoring in that game and taking the lead, it does mean that they go to the top of the group on 8 points. In second place, it will be Borussia Dortmund on 7, but of course, if they take the lead tonight, then they will move up to 9 points. Club Brugge, they go into third on 5th, which means they look pretty settled to go and get themselves the Europa League spot, which I don't think they'll be complaining about because it's a fairly tricky group. Zenit is a currently standing sat bottom, but if they can beat tonight a very tricky Lazio side, then it could make things even more interesting in the group. It would be very, very tight going into match day 5. So that's how things look in Group F. In Group G, of course, we already know pretty much that Barcelona and Juventus will be going through to the knockout stages unless there is an incredible performance from Kiev or Ferencváros. As it currently stands, Barca sit on top on 10 points, Juventus in second on 7 points, Dynamo Kiev and Ferencváros both on 2 points. But if Kiev or Ferencváros can get a result tonight, it will certainly make that last set of fixtures interesting, although you would expect Barcelona and Juventus to get to the latter stages of the competition. We go to Group H as well. The final group, of course, Manchester United in the lead. So as it currently stands, they will go to the top of the table on 9 points. Second place will be PSG because they're currently leading their game against Leipzig. As it currently stands, it means Leipzig will drop into third because of head-to-head which means they would go into the Europa League. And in fourth is Istanbul Basaksehir, but that group is so tight right now. Anything could change on the night. Remember, all it takes is for Leipzig to win their match tonight. They will go into second place. PSG could be a few games away from the Europa League. We'll have to find out what happens across the board in those games tonight. And that will change. So keep your eyes out on the group because we'll be keeping you up to date. But we have had a goal in one of the games tonight that I am keeping my eyes out on. And here we go. Ferencváros have taken the lead against Juventus. And it's quite a good goal, I've got to admit. It's Tokmak Engwen who's got a goal in this game. And it's a really good piece of work there from Ferencváros. As you would expect, they're on the counter-attack tonight against this Juventus side. They've come forward on the right-hand side. A lovely ball's been played into Tokmak Engwen. The touch that he gets on the ball, it's quite a pretty awkward touch, but somehow he's able to lob the ball into the back of the net. It's a lovely finish. And on the night, Ferencváros have taken the lead against Juventus, which means we will have a look in a moment and see what's happened in that group. Perfect result that could be for the Hungarians. But we're going to go over to Rowan because there has been a goal in the group between Dortmund and Bruges. The question is, who has scored that goal, Rowan?
It's the German side, and it's that man again, Erling Haaland. He can't stop scoring. It comes from a failed goal kick from, failed goal kick from Bruges. Sancho gets himself on it, plays a simple ball just in between the defenders through to Haaland. Haaland, a bit of an awkward angle just to the left of the keeper, but he slots it away. And yeah, Haaland scored again. It's 1-0 to Dortmund.
It's a very good finish indeed. 4 goals in his last match. He's got a goal tonight already. 17 minutes on the clock as it stands. Dortmund 1, Bruges 0. Is he going to score 4 more tonight, Rowan? Do you think he's going to try and get 5?
You can't rule out. You can't rule out at all. Possibly.
You certainly can't.
Wait and see.
Thank you very much, Rowan.
Club Bruges are coming in again here. Nah, doesn't matter.
That's all right. Thank you very much, as always, Rowan. 1-0 to Dortmund as it currently stands. We will be going over to Kieran in a moment because there's been a goal in the game between Manchester United and Istanbul Basaksehir. Manchester United, for the last 20 minutes, they have dominated the game. The question is, Kieran, is it a second goal for United or Istanbul back in the game?
Well, it's 2-0, but it's an absolute gift of a goal. First of all, it's lovely build-up. Cavani to Martial. Martial out to Tellez. Early cross looking towards Cavani. Gunnock comes out, makes a hash of the catch and drops it to the feet of, yes, of course, that man Bruno Fernandes who taps it into an open net. It's 2-0 Manchester United, and that is a gift of a goal.
Certainly is a gift of a goal indeed. Thank you very much, KD. As always, Bruno Fernandes is on fire. And, well, the honest question is, when has he not been on fire? One of the most informed players in world football right now has got another goal to his name. That first goal was an absolute exquisite finish. The second one, maybe not as such, but it's a gift, and Bruno will not care. He's got 2 on the night already. After 20 minutes, he's on for the hat-trick already. But let's go over to Kieran because there's been a chance in this game between Lazio and Zenit. Lazio in the lead in this match. The question is Zenit getting back into it or Lazio dominating, Kieran?
Lazio have been much the better team, and they almost doubled the lead. It was that man, the defensive linchpin the midfield, linchpin that is Luis Alberto. He's so creative, but he picks it up on the edge of the box. He's about 22 yards out, and he strikes it at goal. It's a dipping shot, low to the keeper's left, but the keeper does well, full stretch, and parries it out of play. But Lazio definitely could double their lead.
They could indeed. Thank you very much. As always, Kieran and Lazio pushing for that second goal in the match. Of course, we had talked to Rowan a moment ago about that Dortmund goal. Let's have a quick look at how the groups currently stand because we've had a flurry of goals in the last few minutes. And I will talk about it in a second because Neymar's driving forward here. He's going to lay a ball onto the right-hand side to Angel Di Maria. Going to take a shot from outside of the box, but it's straight into the hands of Galacki. A very simple save indeed. So as it currently stands now, when we look at the groups, it means now Dortmund have moved back to the top of the table on 9 points. Lazio in second on 8. They are both starting to move and bridge a gap between themselves and Bruges. Remember, Bruges really need to win tonight if they want to have any hopes of getting through into the knockout stages of the Champions League, or else they'll be looking to bridge the gap between themselves and Zenit for that spot in the Europa League knockout stages. But Dortmund and Lazio will be happy either way with their results as it currently stands. Both currently leading 1-0 in their matches against Bruges and Zenit St. Petersburg. We had that goal in the Ferencváros group. As it currently stands, it makes things very interesting. Ferencváros 1-0 up in this match, which means they are still in third, but they will move up to 4 points. Juventus only on 6. You never know what could happen in that group. But we are going to back to Kieran L because there has actually been a goal in his game between Lazio and Zenit. The question is, have Lazio doubled their lead or is Zenit back in the game? Kieran L.
I said they should double it, and they have done. And it's another lovely goal, Josh. We seem to have a lot of them tonight. Jacqueline Carrera is on the edge of the box. He's nice close control, and he lays it off to his midfield brethren. Parolo, the captain, and he hits it from the edge of the box, hard and low, into the bottom right-hand corner of Kurzakov. And it's a lovely finish from the edge of the box. It's right at the side netting. Nothing the kid can do about it. 2 goals from outside the box.
It's a very good goal indeed from the skipper, Marco Parolo. It's a low-driven effort to that bottom left-hand corner. And Lazio, as you perfectly said a moment ago, you expected them to go 2-0 up. They're 2-0 up now, and it looks like they're going to be running away with things tonight. Thank you very much, Kieran L, as always. Lazio 2, Zenit 0. We've got plenty of action tonight across the board, which is certainly making it a very good Champions League match day so far, because we're going to go over to Rowan. Remember, we spoke to him a moment ago. Dortmund were 1-0 up against Club Brugge. Are Dortmund looking to get a few more goals in this game, or a Bruges fighting back, Rowan?
This time it's Club Brugge, and it's on a counter-attack. Mata does a lovely run down the middle, plays it through to Lang. Lang plays it back into Mata's just on the inside of the box now. Plays it back out to the box to Hans Vanaken, and Vanaken just shoots, just again, it was similar to the Haaland chance, just inches wide of the post. But Club Brugge testing Dortmund there. Sorry, it's Erling Haaland now. He's running through. He's still running. He's not being stopped. Okay, I'll slow it down now. Should be fine.
It's all right indeed. Thank you very much, Rowan. Thought maybe there Haaland was going to be doing one of those robot runs again, but he's decided not to this time. There'll probably be more chances in this game for him to get a few more goals across the board tonight. Let's have a quick look at the comments before we talk about the groups once again. As it currently stands, of course, the guy celebrating in the chat, Pete, has put, Rowan loves eating old ham. Rowan's got to give credit for that one. Great joke indeed. I can see Kieran now crying in the bottom left-hand corner of my screen. He loves the jokes. Bernard's put, come on, Varosh. Jocelyn celebrating about Haaland's goal. Peter's put, the Emperor is the Zenit. And then Sasha's put, good evening. How are you tonight? Greeting from Norway. Send feedback, history saves, contribute. How are we doing, Sasha? Hope you're good as always. Good to see you in the stream, buddy. But we've had a goal in the game between Lazio and Zenit. And we had another screamer, Kieran.
It's a great goal. It's not quite a screamer, but it's out of absolutely nothing. Zenit are back in the game. It's 2-1. Rikitski drills the ball forward. And you know what happens, Hubert? He plays with his back to goal. That's what he does. He takes a touch and hits it on the half volley with his left foot into the bottom right-hand corner. It's a really nice finish. Not a screamer, but a delightful goal. And just like that, Zenit have a lifeline.
They certainly do indeed. Thank you very much, Kieran L. As always, if you're a big Russian fan, you'll know Zuba has been in the media quite recently for putting up some certainly private pictures online. But he's got his name on the score sheet, and hopefully fans will be able to forget about that certain incident that was going on before the international break. And I don't think they'll care because he just put Zenit back into the match. It's 2-1. That is the game of the night so far. Remember, Zenit, if they want to try and keep their Champions League hopes alive, they've got to try and get something in this match. But we're going over to KL once again because there's been another chance in the game. Have Zenit, Kieran, had a chance to equalise in this match, or did Lazio very nearly get back their 2-goal advantage?
Well, they've got their tails up now, Josh. It was Zenit coming forward. They're just such a different team now. They're playing with so much confidence. Malcolm was driving through the middle. He moves, about 10 yards before laying it off to the right to Erikin, and he lashes at the shot, and I thought it was going into the top corner. It just goes over the crossbar, but Zenit need to capitalise on this good momentum because they look dead and buried 20 minutes in. Back in it for now. Really good start.
Very good start indeed. Thank you very much, Kieran L. As always, as it currently stands, it's Lazio 2, Zenit 1. Lazio were 2-0 up in this game. Zenit just getting an equaliser back a few moments ago. Artem Zhuba with the goal in that match to put Zenit 1 goal away from a potential point. Certainly has been a very good start to that match. We are only 27 minutes in, around 27 minutes into the majority of these games because we have got a free kick here in a featured match tonight between PSG and Leipzig, and there is a free kick for Leipzig about 40 yards out, I'd say, from goal. All the centre-backs are up. That does include Upamecano and Kanate, who've both come up. And this could be a very good opportunity for Leipzig to get an equaliser in this match. The ball is lofted into the box, but it's hit a little bit too heavy. Touch from the back of the foot of Bacca, although it is cleared in the end by Marquinhos, and the chance goes wide for RB Leipzig. very unfortunate indeed. Sasha's put go Barcelona tonight. Of course, they're up against Dynamo Kiev as it currently stands. It is 0-0 in that match. But we've had plenty of goals across the board tonight already as it currently stands. We are just around half an hour into these games. PSG 1, RB Leipzig 0. Manchester United 2, Istanbul Basaksehir 0. Bruno Fernandes is on fire tonight. Dortmund 1, Bruges 0. Ferencvaros with a shock result tonight. It's 1-0 to them right now. Kiev 0, Barcelona 0. And Lazio 2, Zenit St. Petersburg 1. And just talking about that game, we are going to be going back to Kieran because there's been a chance in this game. Once again, who's had the chance this time?
It was a delightful opportunity for Lazio on the break because Zenit got a corner while I was talking to you, Josh, and Zenit broke from that corner and Jacques Correa just wasn't stopped from his own half. He finally lays the ball off to Luis Alberto. Kirchikov comes out. He tries to chip it over him, does Alberto, and it's really nice goalkeeping from Kirchikov, who spreads himself well and just stops the goal going into the back of the net and maybe ending this game. What a start.
What a start indeed. Thank you very much, Kieran. As it stands, Lazio 2, Zenit St. Petersburg 1. If you are new to the stream, as always, and you've enjoyed the goal show so far, do leave a like and a subscription. It is very greatly appreciated indeed. There's a lot of people in here tonight, which is always fantastic to see. It is our UCL goal show. We do this throughout the entirety of the Champions League so far, and you can join us, of course, tomorrow night. We'll be live from 7:45 for the other set of Champions League fixtures going on in match day 4. Of course, we've got Champions League action for the next 3 weeks straight. So keep your eyes out because we've got so much more UCL content to come. As I said, we're live again tomorrow from 7:45. And we're only a couple of subscribers away from 1,300 subs. So it's very greatly appreciated indeed if you've enjoyed it so far. To leave a subscription and a like, it certainly does help us to improve our content on the channel. But as I said, we've had a fantastic night of action so far. Goals across the board, apart from one game, and that is Kiev and Barcelona. And if you don't know about this game tonight, Barcelona with a heavily changed set of players across the board. There is no Lionel Messi available for Barcelona tonight. He's been rested completely, so he will not be coming on in this game as he is not available on the bench at all for the side. Even the likes of Griezmann and Dembele aren't available in this game. But we've got a free kick here for Paris Saint-Germain. This is about 35 yards out from goal. Looks like they're going to try and hit this one. Di Maria and Neymar are the two players stood over this free kick. And, well, if they can put this into the back of the net, it'd be a very good start indeed to make it 2-0 after half an hour. Neymar is going to be the man who steps up. He takes the shot on goal, and it's just wide of the right-hand side of the post. It was actually Di Maria who took on the shot there. I was trying to see on my goal show, which I've kind of got half of the screen cut off, so it looked like Neymar had taken it. It was Di Maria who took it. It was an in-swinging free kick, hit towards the right-hand side of the post, and it's just wide of the mark. A big chance there for PSG to make it 2-0 to the good after half an hour. But let's have a look at the chat and see what you guys have been saying. Chris, what's the difference between Carlisle and the Sports Corner? The Sports Corner are more consistent. We love it, Chris. That's what we love to see. He's put Carlisle so inconsistent. It's driving me mad. Massive opportunity to move into automatic promotion places. With a win tonight, and we're losing. Typical Carlisle. I feel your pain with inconsistency. And Ben Al's put, I'm taking Carlisle 1 with the winky face and a smiling emoji. Good to see everybody doing well in the chat, as always. But let's go back and have a quick look at the groups. As it currently stands, we're about half an hour into tonight's fixtures. And Dortmund currently leading the group in Group F. And I've got to say, the one that interests me the most is Group G. I mean, Barcelona this season have not looked convincing at all in any competition. I mean, the majority of games in the Champions League, I personally think they didn't really look too convincing in pretty much all 4 games that have been played so far. Can't really say much about that Kiev-Barcelona game until, of course, we've seen the rest of the match going on. But pretty poor so far, I have to say, indeed, from them. But Juventus, 2 wins and potentially 2 losses as it currently stands on 6 points. Only a second, and Ferencvaros here have a major opportunity in this group to try and somehow push to get into the knockout stages, which we've got 2 games left. They would have to beat Kiev and hope that at some point Juventus drops points elsewhere, which is certainly doable. Of course, head-to-head, right now, Juventus, they did beat them 5-0 in that previous leg, which will certainly do them some good. But if Ferencvaros can hold on to a result here and get something against Kiev, we could potentially see Ferencvaros in the knockout stages. Let's not get too excited because we've still got the entire game to go and of course, 2 more match days. But if we saw Ferencváros in the knockout stages, it would surely be one of the biggest shocks in Champions League history in terms of a side getting to the knockout stages. But let's not get too excited. I think the majority of people watching Champions League games are kind of, going for the underdog. And it'd be always nice to see somebody different in the UCL knockout stages. But we've got so much time left. So let's find out what happens over time in the Champions League. But, of course, looking across the board tonight, good performance so far for Manchester United. They're 2-0 up in their game against Istanbul Basaksehir. Kieran D, of course, watching that match tonight. Bruno Fernandes with an absolute cracking performance so far. Could have had, pretty much could have had a hat-trick in the game already. And he's already got 2 goals to his name. If you haven't seen the first goal he scored, it's definitely worth checking out because it will be up there for goal of the season in the UCL. And I would probably say it's the goal of the season so far in the Champions League. What an absolute cracking goal that is. And talking about the game, we are going to be going over to the Manchester United Istanbul game because there has been a penalty awarded. The question is it a potential chance here for Bruno Fernandes to get a hat-trick, or Istanbul got an opportunity to get back into the game? Kieran?
What do you think? Who do you think's got the penalty, Josh? Of course,
I guess it's United.
It's an absolutely fantastic ball from Victor Lindelof down to Marcus Rashford, literally across the field. Rashford's in the box and Bolingoli just hammers him in the back, really. It is a soft one, I'm not going to lie. People will say this isn't a penalty, but, I've seen him given, I've seen him not given. But Bruno Fernandes does have the chance to get the hat-trick on the night. And they're just checking for potential offside for Marcus Rashford as he was running through. The VAR is checking the penalty. Marcus Rashford looks onside. You're probably seeing replays of it now, Josh, on your screen, if not. Bruno Fernandes is stepping up with the ball for the penalty. VAR are checking the penalty. I think it will get given, but we'll have to wait and see what happens.
Yeah, I think that's going to get given. As you said, it's a fairly soft penalty, but I've seen the majority of these being given. But very quickly, while that's being checked, we've had another goal in the game between Juventus and Ferencváros. Unfortunately, Juventus have got an equaliser in this game. It is 1-1 in that match, and it is an absolute cracker of a goal in that match. And the goal has actually come from Cristiano Ronaldo. Who else to get his side back into the game?
Weirdly enough, Bruno Fernandes has given the penalty to Marcus Rashford. So Bruno Fernandes has forfeited the chance to get a hat-trick. The penalty has been given, I think. Of course, I'm watching without audio, so check over. Yep, penalty's given. Marcus Rashford, he's over it. Hopefully he can score.
Well, that's a very kind thing of him. It'll look a little bit stupid if Rashford missed this, but of course, big chance here for United to make it 3-0. Let's find out what happens.
Yeah, Marcus Rashford stepping up for the penalty. Whenever you're ready. I hate this. It's the silence, isn't it, that we get because nobody knows what to say. Marcus Rashford running up to the ball in... Now, he's running up now. Few steps, sends the goalkeeper the wrong way. 3-0 Manchester United. Great penalty from Rashford, and looks like game over already, Josh.
Certainly does indeed. Man United looking dominant tonight. You scored 5 against RB Leipzig. You've already scored 3 against Istanbul Basaksehir. We've got about 15 minutes left. And how nice of Bruno Fernandes not to take that penalty to give it to Rashford. And what a performance indeed. I think the one thing you needed to do tonight, I think you'll agree with me, get a win and put the pressure on PSG and Leipzig to go out there and get a win in their match. Yeah,
this was a big result. We needed the 3 points, of course, after what happened in Turkey. Now we just probably need to win one of the last 2 games and we're through.
Certainly indeed. Thank you very much, Katie, as always. What a performance tonight from Manchester United so far. Bruno Fernandes had the opportunity to get a 29-minute hat-trick in the Champions League. He opted to not take the penalty and give it to Marcus Rashford, which is very nice of him indeed. Probably thinks he could probably get a hat-trick at some point in the match tonight. But it's Manchester United 3, Istanbul Basaksehir 0. And when you asked earlier, Benaldo, if there was a Manchester United penalty, there is one indeed. He put Rashid's hairline is offside. Love the lad, though. And, of course, what a performance tonight from Man U. Really been really good in the Champions League so far. If you take away that game against Istanbul Basaksehir, the previous match, of course, they're doing fantastic tonight. 3-0 to the Premier League side at Old Trafford. It's been fairly quiet in this game in the last couple of minutes between PSG and RB Leipzig. Not really much going on in this game so far. A couple of little opportunities here and there for both sides. But PSG looking the more dominant of the teams tonight. Really good performance from them so far. And I've got to say, RB Leipzig have got a lot of work to do if they want to get back into the match tonight. Certainly been a worrying start indeed. But we've had another substitution in the game between Zenit and Lazio, and it's going to be Zenit who've had that substitution. Douglas Santos has come off, and Sotoromin has come onto the pitch. Going to bring KL in very quickly. Is this an injury to Douglas Santos?
Yeah, it was. It was just a nothing tackle in the middle of the park where it just looked like the midfielder had clipped the back of his ankles, but he was in agony when he went down, and he hobbled off very gingerly. So it must be some damage, and we won't be seeing Douglas Santos again today. Instead, we'll see Sotoromin.
Very unlucky indeed. Early substitution there for Lazio in the game as it currently stands. It's 2-1. Of course, Zenit getting the earliest goal of the game since we last spoke. Have they looked like they're going to get another goal in the match?
No, they had that little 5-minute spell of really troubling Lazio as they probed the edge of the box here, but not really. Not any full cut chances. I think most of them have come to Lazio, and rightly so. But they'll just be happy to be within a whisker, after an awful start, really.
Definitely will be indeed. Lots of work to do for Zenit. Still 2-1 down, and they're trying to get a goal back in that match. As it currently stands, Lazio 2, Zenit 1. Thank you very much, Kieran, as always. What a tackle we have just had in this game between PSG and Leipzig. What an opportunity for Kylian Mbappe to go for a goal and get the second goal of this match. He was blitzing down the left wing. Upamecano inside the box takes a gamble with a sliding tackle. He gets the ball. And well, of course, the PSG players were protesting there for a penalty. The referee says no. He gets a touch on the ball. It's a really good tackle from Upamecano, and no penalty is given. Tuchel is complaining about it. He's fuming, thinking it was a penalty. But as it currently stands, just looking at it now, yeah, he gets a touch on the ball first. Do you know what? When you actually look at the tackle back on replay, it looks like it's not a good tackle, but he gets the ball first before the player. It's a gamble Upamecano had to take there, and he took it, and he's paid off in the end. Still 1-0 to PSG in this match against RB Leipzig as we edge towards the final 5 minutes of action in this fixture. There are yellow cards coming out galore now, still protesting. There's a fight going on here in the match now. Haidara, bit of pushing and shoving between him and Paredes. The referee's just given 2 yellow cards out. One has been given to Neymar for protesting to the referee. And then another yellow card was given out to Paredes for protesting. Paredes has started to push Mukiele around. Hopefully, if we're too serious here, because we've seen Paredes get sent off in the past, but nothing has been given. Let's go over, though, I think we're going to go over to Kieran D first, because there has been a chance in his game between Manchester United and Istanbul. Was it a chance to make it 4-0, Kieran?
Yeah, and it was a chance for Bruno Fernandes to get his hat-trick. A lovely positive run from Anthony Martial, picked up inside his own half, sprinted past all the players, poked it to Fernandes. All he had to do was poke it past the keeper, and he poked it straight at the keeper. Unfortunate for him, still 3-0.
Thank you very much, as always. Kieran D, we're going to move over to Kieran L as well, because there's been a chance in his game between Lazio and Zenit. Who's had the chance this time?
It was Lazio again. As I say, they've probably been the team much more on top. And it's some brilliant footwork again from Jacqueline Carré. When he gets in and around the area, his close control with both feet is absolutely magical, and he just teases defenders, getting the ball near him and then moving one movement away, and he's breaking away. So he got really nice close control in the box. He then squared it to Parolo to get his second of the game. He lashed it in with his left, and he went past the post, but it was a golden opportunity because it was about at the centre of the box near the penalty spot.
Big chance indeed. Thank you very much, Kieran, as always. Lazio 2, Zenit 1 in that match. There's been chances galore of these last few minutes because we're going to go over to Rowan. Of course, Dortmund 1-0 up against Club Brugge. Have Dortmund had another chance, Rowan?
They have, and it's Giovanni Reina, the American. If he scores today, he does become the youngest American goal scorer in Champions League, beating out former Dortmund man Christian Pulisic. And it was just a mistake from the back. I think Guerrero tries to square it across. It should be easily blocked. No pace on it at all. But I don't know who it is. It could be Mata. Ends up just flicking it on, falls straight to the feet of Reina, leathers it, and it looks like an awful shot. It looks like he's skied into row Z. Turns out it does touch Charles de Keteler's knee. But big let off for Bruges, and also Gio Reyna should be putting it out away. It's the faintest touch. I don't think de Keteler actually gets too much on it to sway it. But yeah, it should be 2-0.
Big chance indeed. One question for you as well. You did say there about the youngest American goal scorer. Could be another record broken tonight, potentially, with the youngest player in the Champions League, Yusufa Moukoko.
Yeah, I will see him on for sure, because if you look at Dortmund's bench, they don't have a striker! Sorry, I've just seen Danny Rose just scored.
Big dubs everywhere, not just for Dortmund right now. Big dubs across the board. Thank you very much, Rowan, as always, because Oldham are winning as well in real life, which is certainly good indeed. Love the celebrations there from Rowan. Very passionate indeed. Let's have a look at the chat, see what you guys have been saying over the last few minutes. Kyle has put in the chat, in the 2.5 games out of 4 in the Champions League so far, how come United play like United of old, but yet in the Premier League they play like they're fighting relegation? It's a very good question indeed. I guess if we could ask Ole that, we probably would try to, but it's fairly mad, isn't it? It's a bit of a weird one with Manchester United right now in terms of how they've been playing. Very confusing indeed. Let's have a quick talk about the game between Kiev and Barca. This one so far has been pretty quiet. Nothing much going on in the match. It looks like there's been a few feisty fouls in this game so far, which Luchescu's been complaining about, but no real big chances from either side in this game. As it currently stands, it's Kiev 0, Barcelona 0. And of course, we'll have to see what happens in that match. So we've got a few more minutes left here. 1 minute and 30 seconds of the first half of action. PSG currently 1-0 up against Leipzig United with the performance of the night so far. They are 3-0 up against Istanbul Basaksehir. Dortmund 1-0 up against Club Brugge. Ferencváros, they were leading in this game, but it's now 1-1 between Juventus and Ferencváros. Goalless between Kiev and Barcelona. And Lazio 2, Zenit St. Petersburg 1. Probably you could say that's the game of the night in terms of the plethora of opportunities for both sides. Very good game indeed. Certainly can't complain about that. But here we are at PSG Leipzig. We've got a minute left on the clock. PSG looking here to try and get a second goal in this match. And ever since they've got the goal, they've really started to take a foothold of this game. And they've been very good so far. And Kylian Mbappe and Neymar have been causing that RB Leipzig defence a lot of problems tonight. But you have to give credit to Upamecano, who has been absolutely exquisite tonight. Him and Mukiele have been really good at the back, specifically trying to stop Kylian Mbappe coming forward. And they've just got a really good defensive unit, Leipzig, that I'm guessing they will be praying they can keep for as long as possible, because we already know clubs like Arsenal and Bayern and big other Premier League sides and the European clubs were trying to tout some of these players, and they've just got such a formidable back line. But we've got one chance here for RB Leipzig before the end of the half. Sabitzer trying to lay the ball off to Angelino on the left wing. He just couldn't get a touch of the ball. And there's a ball here from Haidara. Flick towards Nkunku. Doesn't get towards him in the end. He's going to come out to Dani Olmo, who lays the ball off to Poulsen on the right wing. It doesn't look like anything's going to come of it in the end. But let's go to Roman, because there's a dangerous free kick in the game between Dortmund and Bruges.
Yeah, it's literally right outside of the box, just on the little D, just on that. And it was, I'm trying to see who, was it Dele? It could have been Dele. I can't remember who made the foul. He's got a big beard anyway. Now, if Marco Reus was on the pitch, I trust him to put this in, because it's Marco Reus. It's Sancho over the wall. It's in. What a lovely free kick by Jadon Sancho, the man who, again, rumours do swirl about him leaving, but if he's scoring goals like that for Dortmund, he won't want to leave. That is lovely. Mignolet nowhere near it, dips over the wall into that top left-hand corner, and Jadon Sancho has put Dortmund 2 to the good, and is with a lovely, lovely free kick. I'm sure you'll see it very soon.
It's a very good free kick indeed. Very, very nicely worked. Top bins.
Yeah, it just dips over the wall. Lovely. Spins it just past Kusunu.
It's a very, very good goal indeed. Well. Thank you very much, Ron, as always. 2-0 to Dortmund now. What a goal from Jadon Sancho, the man who's been under a lot of speculation over his career and where he's going to be in the future, has just put an absolutely beautiful free kick into the back of the net just before half-time. It's Dortmund 2, Club Brugge 0. We are getting across the board now to added time. There is 1 minute of added time across the board in all 3 of the matches that Rowan, KD and Kieren are covering. We are at half-time in this fixture, though, between PSG and RB Leipzig. As it currently stands, it is 1-0 to Paris Saint-Germain. Going to be interesting here to see what happens in that match. Running out of time, of course, in those other games to try and get goals before half-time. Let's go over to Kieren because there has been a chance in his game just before half-time. Who's had that chance, Kieren?
It's Lazio again. It was a beautiful little bit of build-up play, I'll be honest, between Immobile. He then throws it to Joaquin Correa, who's been really good in this first half. Through on the left-hand side. He squares it to Lazara. There's no one within 5 yards of him. He hits it first time to the keeper's left, but Kuzakov is equal to it. It's a really good opportunity to give Lazio a 2-1 lead. But with that, Zenit still aren't out the game, so and it's just finished as half-time. But good chance for Lazio.
Very good chance indeed. Bring you back in a second, Kieran L. Half-time across the board in tonight's fixtures. We will go through, of course, all those half-time scores now. And then, of course, as we always do at half-time, we'll go through the stats, talk to the boys, see how the games have been so far. But as you can see on the screen, it is half-time across all the fixtures tonight in the Champions League. There were 2 games, of course, played a little bit early on in the 5:55 kickoffs. Krasnodar 1, Sevilla 2. There was a 95th minute winning goal in that game for Sevilla, which secures their Champions League knockout status, which is unbelievable because we used to be in the Europa League, but this time they'll be in the Champions League knockout stages fighting to win that elusive trophy. Alongside them in the Champions League knockout stages, we'll also be seeing Chelsea, Olivier Giroud with a late goal in their match to get them the win in that game, which means that Chelsea will be going through to the knockout stages of the Champions League alongside Sevilla. And then across the board tonight in the other fixtures, as it stands at half-time, PSG 1, RB Leipzig 0, the only goal of the match, coming from a penalty which was stroked home by Neymar early on into the fixture. Manchester United 3, Istanbul Basaksehir 0. We could have had a Bruno Fernandes hat-trick. One goal was deemed as offside. The other one, he had a penalty, which he could have put into the back of the net, but he decided to give it to Marcus Rashford, who scored that other goal in the game. Bruno Fernandes has been on fire tonight. We'll talk about his first goal, which was a cracker, in a little moment's time. Borussia Dortmund 2, Club Brugge 0. Fantastic game. That one's been so far. Jadon Sancho with a goal just before half-time. An exquisite free kick put into the back of the net from the English forwards, who, of course, have a lot of speculation on where he's going over the next couple of weeks and months, and no doubt that will continue on. Potential result of the night, Juventus 1, Ferencváros 1. They were leading in this game. The Bulgarian side, Tokmak Engwen, with a lovely finish to put the Hungarians into the lead. But Juventus, that man, of course, Cristiano Ronaldo, you can't keep him out. And well, it was a lovely long-range effort from the Portuguese forward to put his side back into the match. 1-1 as it currently stands there. Barcelona doing their best to bore their fans to death. It's 0-0 in that match. A heavily changed side tonight from Ronald Koeman. It means that Kiev have still got a good opportunity to go out there and get a victory tonight. Can they do it? We'll talk about that match in a little moment. Safe to say that one has been fairly boring so far. And then potentially the match of the night so far in terms of opportunities. Lazio 2, Zenit St. Petersburg 1. A flurry of goals in the first 25 minutes. And, of course, still a lot of work to do for both sides. Zenit still need to get a goal back in this match. Lazio will certainly be looking to try and get 1 or 2 more just to close the gap between themselves and the Russian side. So that is how things are looking at half-time. Let's go and get the boys in a second and talk about each game separately in statistics and what everybody can do in these games. I know the guys have been saying in the chat, Rotherham, of course, stands 3-2 in their match. Probably not going to win, but you never know. It'd be nice to get a draw in that game. But let's go across the board now around the fixtures and talk through them. I'm going to very quickly talk about the game between PSG and RB Leipzig, because this one has certainly been a fairly interesting game so far. PSG on the back foot, to be honest, for the majority of the match. RB Leipzig have dominated the game so far. 7 shots, 2 on target for Leipzig, with 63% possession. PSG have had 5 shots, 1 on target, and 37% possession, which is quite mad when you think about it, because you would have expected RB Leipzig to have had less possession. But tonight, it does look like Leipzig are the home side, which is quite weird. But PSG, they got the first goal in the game. It was Neymar from the penalty spot. It was the right decision indeed. They lead in this game. And to be quite frankly honest with you, I do think PSG will go on and get the victory. RB Leipzig looking good tonight, but still just lacking that cutting edge in the final third. Let's move on to the biggest performance of the night so far in terms of the goals. Manchester United have scored 3 goals against Istanbul Basaksehir tonight. Kieran D, I'm probably thinking you weren't expecting them to score 3 at half-time, but so far, performance of the night, and a fantastic performance so far from Bruno Fernandes.
Yeah, we've been really good at times, and other times we've been a little bit below par. I'm not going to lie. It's a weird performance because, of course, we're 3-0 up, but there's been times where Istanbul have had those half chances and they've been nicking 50-50s and stuff. That is a little bit infuriating because we're 3-0 up. But I can't complain. 3-0 at half-time, and surely more to come in the second half while the space opens up.
Definitely indeed. And talking about space, the first goal, of course, of the night, what a goal from Bruno Fernandes. Will be up there for the goal of the season in the Champions League for sure. Just how crucial has he been? I think It's one of those topics. I know we talk about him every week, but he really is Manchester United's star man right now.
Oh yeah, he's incredible. I genuinely dread to think where we'd be without him, to be honest. He is the only player on the pitch, I think, that could pull a team by the scruff of the neck and pull out a result. I know it's 3-0 tonight, but there has been times where he has done that for us, and he's such a crucial player, and he's such a good player, and we're lucky to have him.
He's a very good player indeed. Look at the stats for the match as he currently stands so far. Manchester United, 7 shots, 5 on target, 3 of those going into the back of the net, 2 from Bruno Fernandes. That was 2 goals in 12 minutes. And of course, Marcus Rashford stepping up for the penalty, which originally Bruno was going to take. Istanbul Basaksehir, they've had 7 shots, 1 on target. Manchester United, as you would expect, 61% possession to Istanbul's 39. Of course, now for Manchester United, it's probably a case of scoring more goals. Do you think there could be a few more in this match for the home side?
I'd hope so. I want to see Cavani get one, and I want a few people off the bench, maybe Mason Greenwood and Pellistri, who's the youngster we signed, the Uruguayan, to come off the bench. Sorry, the Argentinian to come off the bench. I'd like to see some new faces, some fresh faces in the second half. Of course, we don't need to play as our team because we've got Southampton on Sunday as well with the fixture congestion.
Certainly indeed. It's a very heavy fixture list for a lot of clubs across Europe right now. Not just with the Champions League, but club football in general. But as it currently stands, Manchester United 3, Istanbul Basaksehir 0. Thank you very much, KD. As always, we'll bring you back in a little bit. If you're new to the stream, as always, by the way, do leave a like, subscription if you have enjoyed the Gold Show so far. Very greatly appreciated for all of you that have joined us tonight in this really good Champions League night so far, because it's been a great night for Dortmund as well. 2-0 up as it currently stands against Club Brugge. Haaland continues his goal-scoring form, Rowan. Jadon Sancho with an exquisite free kick. Perfect night so far.
Perfect night. Bruges have had it's what I said before the matches. If Bruges play like they played in the second half, they did, and they had glimpses of that. This game, Clinton Mata, lovely attack. Shouted to Kettle, nearly ran through own goal. Thorgan Hazard just stuffed that out. And you know what? They've played really well. They have. And just Dortmund, they're clinical. And Haaland is clinical. And when you give Haaland a glaring chance that Erling Haaland will score, it's going to be a goal. And then it's just a lovely goal. This curl that he gets on that ball to get it past Kusunu, who's the only one who jumps up in the wall. And Mignolet's nowhere near it. Ruud Vormer, his blue card will be letting him down here because he's not. No, I'm just kidding. It's just a way to get the blue Ruud Vormer in. And yeah, not the best from Bruges, but not the worst. It's only 2 goals. There were 3 goals last game. Hopefully they can get at least one back early on.
Looking at the stats for the game so far as it stands, Dortmund, of course, 2 goals in the match. Haaland in the 18th minute, continuing on his incredible goal-scoring form. Of course, was just recently given the Golden Boy Award for 2020 as well, to make up for what has been a pretty mad year in the world.
It seems like that's boosted him. 4 goals at the weekend, 1 goal today. Just keep on telling him he's a Golden Boy winner, and he'll win it. He'll just score as many goals as he likes.
Absolutely, and then of course Sancho with the goal in the 45th minute as well. A really good free kick
to end the half. Yeah, just lovely goal. I mean, there's all the rumours with him, Sancho again, but Lucien Favre will want to keep him if he's scoring goals like this and getting that lead just a little bit more. It should be 3. Reina missed a very glaring opportunity, but interesting second half because it either could go Bruges might have an incredible comeback or Dortmund can run away with it.
Indeed. I mean, look at the stats right now. You would expect Dortmund to run away with it. 9 shots for Dortmund, 4 on target. 2 of those, of course, being goals in the first half. Club Brugge have only had 2 shots, none on target. In terms of possession, as you would expect, Dortmund 62% possession to Bruges' 38%. What do Bruges have to do to get back in this game? Because tonight, if you're not aware, it's something you might have seen online. They are missing one of their key players tonight. Emmanuel Dennis, the Nigerian forward, missing tonight for Bruges because he got on the team bus and didn't get the seat that he wanted and therefore stormed off the bus and isn't available for tonight's game. So they're missing a big player already. What do Bruges have to do to get back into this round?
Simple. Score goals. It's what football's based on, and they haven't, like you said the stats. They haven't tested Berke. Have a shot from 50 yards out, from 45 yards out. There is no harm because right now you haven't tested Berke. Berke could be rusty. You don't know what's happening. You could take a shot. Berke could dive, get injured. Hits has to come in. Like, just have a go because you don't know what's going to happen. At least get that shot that can give you a bit of momentum.
Absolutely, indeed. As it currently stands, Dortmund 2, Bruges 0. Dortmund continuing on their incredible run so far. Thank you very much, Rowan. As always, expect more goals in that second half. That one has been a feisty game indeed. Let's very quickly talk about Juventus and Ferencvaros. That has been an interesting game tonight. As I said, Ferencvaros took the lead early on in this game. The goal's actually been accredited to Azuni, Tokmak Angwen with the assist in the end. They took the lead in the 19th minute of this match. Cristiano Ronaldo with an equaliser in the 35th minute. And as I said tonight, for Ferencvaros, it was a case of going out there and playing without fear. Just go out there and give Juventus your very best shot. And so far in this first 45 minutes of action, they've done exactly that. They're currently, as it stands, 45 minutes away from getting a point on the board, a very incredible and historic point for the Hungarian side. The last time they faced off against European sides in this competition was all the way in the 90s. They're now back in this competition once again and doing very well indeed. Stats-wise, Juventus have had 7 shots, 3 on target. Ferencvaros have had 6 shots, 2 on target, with the away side only having 31% of possession. Juventus with 69%. You've got to say, Juventus and Barcelona, the top 2 sides, have not looked convincing in the group stages so far. But because of the 2 teams being a little bit smaller, you still would expect them to go through, which means if we talk about that other game between Kiev and Barcelona, that one is the only game of the night as it currently stands. That is goalless. It's a heavily rotated side tonight for Barcelona. And you know what? Looking at the stats, it's been a pretty awful game. If you're watching it, I highly feel sorry for you. You probably wish you could stick another game on. I highly would recommend it. As it currently stands, Dynamo Kiev have had 4 shots, 2 on target in the match so far. Barcelona have had 3 shots, 1 on target in the match. Kiev have had 26% possession to Barcelona's 74%. When you look at the stats right now, it pretty much proves that, you know, you rotate the side, you don't include Messi, you're probably not going to get much out of that Barcelona team. And so far, it's proving exactly right. Of course, struggled against Atletico Madrid in their La Liga game at the weekend. They lost that match. If Kiev can hold on for a valuable point or try and sneak a win tonight, it would be 1, a historic win for Kiev, and 2, a really, really poor result for Barcelona. And even now, a point tonight would be very frustrating indeed. It's looking like it could be a fairly interesting second 45. Kiev have got to go out there and try and win. As I said, it's their biggest chance of getting a historic win against the side tonight of Barcelona. We'll quickly go on to the Lazio game in a moment. Just had a few comments in the chat. Junior's put how his name are playing like shit, lol. He's been fairly quiet tonight. I mean, he scored the penalty, Junior Dexter. He's had like a couple of opportunities to go forward so far, but it's been fairly quiet from PSG so far. So he's got a goal to his name, I guess, but it's not been the greatest game so far to watch for PSG, even though they are leading. And then Chris put YouTube ran from me tonight for Tranmere 1, Carlisle. No, not a night off. We've seen it all season. I don't know how we are in playoff places, but the YouTube channels are more consistent than this massive club. Very lucky indeed tonight, Chris, as always, with your local club, Carlisle. Never nice to see indeed with the local clubs dropping points. Of course, my local club being Rotherham, we dropped points tonight, which is very frustrating indeed. But let's go over to Kieran L's game, because he was covering Lazio Zenit St. Petersburg. Probably said tonight that this is the game of the night so far, because we had, 3 goals in about 10 minutes?
Yeah, it has been a really good game. It's been, I wouldn't say end to end, but there's been momentum shifts and ebbs and flows to the game, and that's really what you want to see in a game like this. It's been a really good half in terms of chances, most of them coming for Lazio, but that Artem Dzyuba chance really did put the cat amongst the pigeons, and it makes up for a really good second half if it can continue.
Certainly did. Look at the stats for this game, as you said, been eventful so far. Not exactly, well, been end-to-end potentially at times. Lazio have had 8 shots, 5 on target, 2 of those being goals. Immobile scoring a really good goal in the 3rd minute. Marco Porro scoring another goal from outside the box in the 22nd minute. 3 minutes later, Artem Dzyuba getting a lovely finish from inside the box to get Zenit back into the game. They've had 5 shots, 2 on target, the away side. Possession-wise, fairly even, 53% to Zenit's 47%. Artem Dzyuba, looking good in this game so far. Currently 2-1 down in this match. Of course, we know Sardar Azman's been out for a long period of time now. Maybe a little bit later on into this game, do you think if it's still 2-1, they bring on an extra attacker?
Yeah, definitely, because all biased aside, that is the strike partnership that Zenit go for usually. It is Yuba and Asmoon together. So I think, Erikin's been okay. He's had a few sparing chances, but nothing major. Asmoon provides a little bit more pace, something to threaten in behind this Lazio backline, because I tell you what, Acerbi, the centre-half, has been overlapping on the left-hand side a lot. So if you can exploit that space left absent by Acerbi, then hopefully it can come on and make a difference. But he has obviously been a little bit ill, so hopefully he's okay.
Hopefully he's indeed. Thank you very much, Kieran L. As it currently stands, Lazio 2, Zenit St. Petersburg 1. We are now back into the second half of the majority of these games tonight. I think the only game still at half-time, as far as I'm aware, is the Manchester United Istanbul Basaksehir game. But there's already been a change in this match. Axel Tuanzebe's come on, Lindelof off. I'm going to bring KD in very quickly on this one, because we said, of course, about maybe making some changes tonight in the match. Is that an injury, Kieran, or do you just think this is a bit of a tactical tweak from Ole?
Oh, no, he's definitely picked up a knock in the first half. Lindelof, it was towards the end of the half when Istanbul had a bit of sustained pressure, won a few free kicks. They were coming in, being a bit rough on him, of course, because that's the person you target from a set piece, of course. We've not been the most physical player, and I think he has had back issues recently with Sweden and stuff. So I hope it's nothing back related, because that could keep him out for a few good weeks, and we need him in this critical point of the season. But yeah, definitely an injury. Maybe more on the side of caution from Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's point of view to bring Tuanzebe on.
Certainly indeed. Thank you very much, Kelly, as always, as the second half of Manchester United and Istanbul Basaksehir gets underway. 3-0 to Manchester United in that match so far. And just to quickly run through the scores once again, we'll have a look at the groups in a moment as well to keep you updated. PSG 1-0 up against RB Leipzig from a Neymar penalty. United, as we said a moment ago, 3-0 up against Istanbul Basaksehir. Dortmund 2-0 to go against Bruges. Juventus 1, Ferencváros 1. Kiev and Barca 0-0. Barca trying to do their best impression to bore everyone right now. Really poor game that one's been. And Lazio 2, Zenit 1. We've also had another change in the game between United and Istanbul, this time for the away side. Tekdemir has come on. Kavechi has come off the pitch. So a few tweaks in that match so far between both sides. God, I'm honestly gassy right now. I'm trying to get the hiccups out. Piers put a bottle recently applied for job. Kieran is the Zenit. Hull full of goals tonight. Did you know Nottingham has a Forest? And the day tomorrow in Sheffield is Wednesday. I recently carried a beer barrow. He's bringing out all the jokes now, Peter. You love to see it. Kieran celebrating in the chat. Loving it indeed with all of the jokes tonight. Hull being full of goals certainly isn't one joke tonight. They're being on fire right now, Hull City, dominating with the goals. But we are back underway with the second half as it currently stands. No goals in these first couple of minutes of action. But let's have a quick look. Well, let's have a look at the groups and see how things are standing. So we are underway in the second half of these fixtures. Man United and PSG leading in their games, which means they, as it currently stands, will make up the top two, which will be interesting to see who goes down in that group to the Europa League. Remember, third place goes down to the Europa League in all of the groups. With Juventus getting an equaliser in that game, it means Ferencváros moved back to the bottom of the table. They were leading. They weren't leading the group. They were in third when they were leading that game 1-0 early on against Juventus. But ultimately, Juventus getting back into that match courtesy of Cristiano Ronaldo. And then the group with Dortmund and Lazio. Dortmund staying top on 9 points. Lazio in second on 8. There is a gap starting to build between those two sides and Bruges, who, of course, are still looking to try and get themselves into the Champions League positions. If they can get a result against Dortmund tonight, they're going to have to go and win that match, or else they're probably going to be going into third place and into the Europa League, unless Zenit can get a result against Lazio. So it'll be interesting indeed to see what happens across the board in those fixtures tonight. But we are back with PSG Leipzig. We've got a throw in here in the defensive half of play for Paris Saint-Germain. And as I said, so far in this match, it's been fairly quiet in terms of PSG opportunities. RB Leipzig looking the better of the two sides. But consistency in terms of being in the final third has been very poor so far for Leipzig. Not really been any major chances to really scream and shout about, apart from one, which was from a set piece early on in the first half. But since then, we've not really had much action for RB Leipzig. Pete's put another joke in the chat, says someone just had an accident. The doctor said to the patient, it's a black burn on your hand. Oh, my Lord. It's one of those where you shouldn't laugh at it, but I'll give you a round of applause for that one. Jesus Christ. Unbelievable, Peter. Keep them coming, as always. Oh, God, what would we do without you, buddy? We've had a goal, though, in one of the games that we are keeping our eyes out on tonight. Kiev and Barcelona both facing off against each other tonight. It was a pretty boring game so far, but we've had the first goal in this match. And, well, of course, who else was it going to be? FC Barcelona have taken the lead in this match. And I believe the goal scorer is Pedri, the youngster. He's got a goal to his name. So Ronald Koeman, of course, not been the most impressive of fixtures tonight between these two sides. Kiev probably ruined the fact that they've got a great opportunity to beat Barcelona tonight. A pretty weak squad indeed from the Spanish side tonight. But either way, they won't care. They're 1-0 up now, Barcelona. Early on into the second half, it's only about 7 minutes into the second half. And it's Barcelona 1, Kiev 0. A lot of work to do for the Ukrainian side. If they want to get a goal back in that game, of course, that does mean, as far as things currently stand, Ferencváros will move back up into third place. Kiev will go to the bottom of the group on 4 points, on 1 point. Ferencváros in third on 2 points. So good chance there for Barcelona to maybe get a few points on the board and finish top of the group. But let's go over. In fact, it was Dest who scored, by the way, the goal, which is good to see for the American. But let's go over to Kieran D, because there's been a chance of the game between Manchester United and Istanbul Basaksehir. The question is it a chance for Basaksehir for a very unlikely comeback, or is it another United chance? Kieran D.
Well, this time it was a chance for Basaksehir, and it was a really good save from David De Gea. It was sneaking in the shot from Edin Visca from the edge of the area. From the Manchester United corner, actually, Istanbul countered really fast, and Edin Visca found himself edge of the area, put a good effort in towards the goal. It was sneaking in, and De Gea, a big right hand to keep it out just low to his right hand post.
Good chance indeed there for Istanbul Basaksehir. Thank you very much, KD, as always. Still 3-0 to Manchester United. It would have been the most incredible Champions League comeback in terms of the group stages. But there's a lot of work to do for Istanbul if they want to do that, because it's 3-0 and Manchester United are flying indeed. Plenty of chances across the board for the sides tonight. Peter's put the sports corner, love being part of a crew. See what you did there, Peter. Good joke indeed. Keep them coming as always. And just seeing that chance actually from Istanbul Basaksehir, it was a very good chance indeed. Really good save from David De Gea towards his near post. Very big chance there for Edin Visca, who of course scored in their previous game against each other. Very good goal indeed from him in that previous match day. But it doesn't matter right now, because Man U are 3-0 to the good in this match. It looks like we've had an injury in this game between Paris Saint-Germain and RB Leipzig. Marcel Sabitzer just on the floor right now. It looks like there's going to be a substitution potentially in this game. We'll have to see what happens here, because he's down on the floor. Hopefully nothing too serious. But we'll find out what happens there, because I believe we have got a penalty in the game between Lazio and Zenit. And, well, this one has been a fantastic match so far. Lazio 2-1 to the good in this match. Zenit looking like they're trying to get a goal back in this game. But the question is, have Lazio got the chance to go 2 goals ahead, or is this a chance for a Zenit equaliser?
Lazio have the chance to go ahead, and it's a silly mistake at the in midfield, by Wilmar Barrios. The midfielder's back in the box, and it's a great break down the right-hand side, and Lazari cuts it infield to Immobile. Immobile takes a touch out his feet, and Barrios comes sliding in. Really, really poor from the midfielder, and it's a clear-cut penalty, Josh. Immobile will be taking it as well. So this could put the game, I think, well and truly out of Zenit's hands.
Certainly could indeed. And, well, are we going to see a similar kind of penalty to what we've seen from the two? Rashford stepping a little bit, Neymar tippy-tapping here and there. Is Immobile just going to hit this one, do you think?
Yeah, he's not that type of player. He's not the showboating type. I feel he'll do it the proper striker's way. Hit it as hard as you can into one of the corners. And I'll let you know, because as you know with penalties, Josh, you've had it with Kieren already, they take about a minute to get prepped.
They do indeed. It's one of those where they take forever and a day to get to them. But if Lazio can get the goal here, could be 3-1. Could be a big chance indeed to kill the game off.
It's exactly what I said. Hard into the right corner. And, Kuzakov went the right way, but it was just too hard and powerful to be saved. And Immobile has given his team a foot closer to 3 points. I think that might be it.
Certainly indeed. Still 35 minutes left of action in that match as it currently stands. Lazio 3, Zenit St. Petersburg 1. Still could be time for the Russians to get back into the game. We'll have to find out indeed, because there has been another goal in one of the games tonight. We spoke a moment ago about the fact that Dynamo Kiev had gone down against Barcelona. We've had another goal in that game, which I'm going to find out about in a second. So let's go over to Rowan. I want to find out what's going on there. And in fact, just seeing it now, it's another goal in the game. And it's that man, Serginho Dest. No, it's not. It's Martin Braithwaite. Yeah, we love to see that. Braithwaite getting on the score sheet. Well, certainly a player who hasn't been appreciated at Barcelona. But he's got a goal to his name. He was at the back post. Good little finish there. And Kiev now under the cosh, 2-0 down in that match. And Martin Braithwaite getting a very rare Barcelona goal. 2-0 to Barca. But now let's go over to Rowan, because there has been a chance in his game between Dortmund and Bruges. We said Bruges, they had to go gung-ho in that second half. They wanted to get back into it. Is it a chance for Bruges, or Dortmund looking hungry for more?
No, it was Dortmund a couple of minutes ago, like 5 minutes ago, and it was Haaland territory. Reina plays the ball through to him. He's on the left where he scored the first goal. Takes a shot just with his right, and it's just blocked. And it went out for a corner and came to nothing. But again, it's in that Haaland territory where he's so dangerous. And yeah, Dortmund knocking on the door of Bruges.
Good chance indeed. Thank you very much, Rowan, as always. Dortmund 2, Bruges 0. Dortmund looking hungry tonight for more goals in that game, and Barcelona looking hungry now. Really good finish from Martin Braithwaite towards his left-hand near post. Very simple finish indeed. And, well, Lechescu has a lot to do now with this Dynamo Kiev side, because, as I said, this was the biggest chance tonight for them to potentially go and get something. It's a really weak Barcelona team. No Messi available, no Griezmann, no Dembele, no De Jong, no Busquets, just to name a couple of the players that are missing tonight. And they are 2-0 down with 30 minutes of action left. A lot of work to do indeed. We've got a yellow card in the game between Manchester United and Istanbul Basaksehir here. Yellow card for Axel Tuanzebe. He's only been on the pitch for 15 minutes and he's already gone into the book, which is certainly what you don't want to see early on. And Alexa's in the stream. He says, good evening, lads. Ferencvaros playing well indeed. Good to see you in the stream as always, Alexa. Hope you're doing good, buddy. It's been a fantastic game for Ferencvaros so far. If they can get a point tonight against Juventus, I mean, they can't complain. It's an incredible result for the Hungarians, considering how, I've got to say, how nervy Juventus have looked, not just in the league, in the Champions League, sorry, but in the league as well. They just seem to have not really clicked into place so far under Andrea Pirlo. And there's a lot of work to be done at Juventus. I think if you want to kind of win the Champions League with them, I think they're quite, to be honest, I'd probably say Juventus are a lot further off than they were not too long ago for winning the Champions League. We had that kind of period where, you know, it was about 2015-16 where they looked like they were going to go on and win the Champions League. They came up against that Barca side, which was incredible. And it's kind of like they went 2 steps forward and now they've gone 3 steps back. They've got Ronaldo, which you would have thought maybe would have been the man to kind of lift them towards the Champions League. Yet they look further away, which is quite perplexing in my opinion. But maybe other people disagree with me. We'll have to find out what you guys think in the chat. But either way, that game is 1-1 between Juventus and Ferencvaros as we get towards around the half an hour mark of the games in terms of time left. A lot of work to be done across the board for teams tonight. Leipzig still 1-0 down, and they are pushing desperately for an equaliser in this match so far. I mean, Alexis put in the chat, Pirlo looks completely in and over his head, although I must admit I haven't seen a single match under his stewardship. And I've got to say, I think I kind of agree with you in that sense. I think maybe the fact that he was just chucked into the job might have been a little bit pressurising to him. You know, I would have said he probably hasn't had much of a chance to be able to organise what he wants for his team. So he'll have just gone into the club. It's a very last-minute situation in terms of trying to get players to join the club. He'll have had no time to really sit there and think about who he wants to bring in. But we'll talk about that in a second, because there has been a goal in the Dortmund-Bruges game. Dortmund, have they got a third, Rowan, or are Bruges back in the game?
Talk about right place, right time. It's the third, and it's Erling Haaland for his second. It comes from Thorgan Hazard. Hazard gets the ball just on the outside of the box. He takes a shot, and it's initially blocked. Then he flicks it up. He squares it back into the box. So I think that's to Jude Bellingham. Bellingham can't control it. He takes a shot. It's Hans Vanaken, I think. Vanaken tries to clear it, and he clears to Erling Haaland, who is in a clear offside position. if it came off the Dortmund player, but it didn't. It came off Hans Vanaken. Haaland, right place, right time, slots it past him on Mignolet, and 3-0. And it's a great finish on the turn, but just right place, right time for Haaland.
It's a great finish indeed, and well, it's one of those where he probably never thought he was going to get a chance like that in the first place. It's just been gifted to him, and it's the simplest of finishes. He's going to get really good finish, and 3-0, and he's on for a hat trick again, which is.
They can get more than the previous scoreline. 3-0 last time they played.
Well, he only needs to get 3 more goals in the match, and he'll be beating the 4 he scored against Hertha Berlin, which is ridiculous indeed. But thank you very much, Rowan, as always. He's on for a hat trick again. The robot continues. Nobody can stop him right now. Unbelievable performance from Erling Haaland. He just doesn't seem to be stopped. We've had a few changes in the game between Lazio and St. Petersburg. Zenit St. Petersburg, of course, it's 3-1 to Lazio in that game. Immobile with 2 goals in that match. First substitutions were for Zenit, Barrios. That is Wilmar Barrios and Mostovoy came off. Driussi and Muzaev coming onto the pitch. And then Lazio have made a few changes of their own. Parola and Patrick have come off. Luis Felipe and Jean Akpro coming onto the pitch. Of course, Parola getting a goal tonight, which was fantastic for the skipper. Really nice finish from outside of the box. But as it currently stands, Lazio 3-2 the good in that game. Zenit St. Petersburg have still got plenty of time to get back into that match. Remember, we've still got half an hour of play to come. We're going to have a quick talk as well, just seeing what you guys have said. Of course, Alexa putting about the Juventus situation. I think when they lost by that last-minute penalty in 2018 versus Real, they realised they simply won't win it, and it's their psychological state broke. And I agree with you with that. I think it's a very similar situation to what PSG have had for years, where they just don't seem to be able to get over the line, and that kind of psychological element comes into play. And I think very similar as well to how PSG were. Maybe that's something Juventus have to try and step over and eventually break the duct of. And then there's been a few substitutions in the game between Manchester United and Istanbul Basaksehir. Of course, there's 5 substitutions across the board in all of these Champions League games tonight. Greenwood, Williams and Daniel James have come on. Wan-Bissaka, Rashford and Bruno Fernandes coming off. Of course, now it's a great chance for Manchester United to start resting some of their players as we get into a very hectic period of fixtures. It's winter time. There's games like every 3 or 4 days. It's mental now, which means we've got plenty of content to come on the channel and plenty of games to watch, which is certainly not a bad thing. We bloody love the winter time. But let's go over to Kieran, because there's been a chance in this game between Lazio and Zenit St. Petersburg. Is Zenit trying to get back into this game, Kieran?
Well, they're trying. They're making attacking substitutes, but the chance wasn't for them. The chance was for Lazio, and again, it was the overlapping centre-back. I never thought I'd say this about Acerbi, but 2020, some things are strange. So he's on the byline, and he's looking for a cross, and his cross does pick out Joaquin Correa. He's got a free header, no one within 2 yards of him, but he heads it over the bar from the centre of the box. It's a poor header from him, but he has been really good tonight, so I'll let him off.
Certainly can be let off indeed, while Lazio 3-1 up. A lot of work still to do for the Russian champions. They've got to get 2 goals to at least get a point with half an hour left of play. Thank you very much, Kieran. As always, still more time for a few goals in that one. I think we might see 1 or 2 in that game with the sound of things, how things have been going on. There has been a substitution in the game between Manchester United and Istanbul Basaksehir. Nasser Chadli coming off the pitch. Gulbranson coming on in that game. So a slight tweak of the system there as Istanbul look to get a couple of goals back in that match. It looks like that one's pretty much done and dusted. They needed an incredible comeback in that match if they want to get at least 1 point on the board. Let's have a quick talk, because Alexis put in the chat. Did you guys see about the Zlatan and Bale situation? And that's a really good point, actually. There's been a lot of stuff going on with that. And I think what was bonkers about that is I don't think necessarily, from what I've read, it's actually down to them complaining about their kind of involvement in FIFA. I believe a lot of it is to do with FIFA Pro and how they've acquired the rights. And I think the worst thing that's happened for FIFA is the leaked news of how much David Beckham's being paid to be in the game, which makes a lot of other players think, well, why are we not getting paid to get into to be in the game, to use my likeness in a video game? And I guess when you look across the board, I'm surprised, games like PES, for example, look, yes, sometimes their likeness of players is probably miles off anyway for them to look like the actual lookalikes of Zlatan Ibrahimovic, for example, although I think Milan are licensed in the game anyway. Just PES, it's not a bad game in the end, but I guess with FIFA, it's a completely different situation. With Football Manager, players don't look like how they do in real life. So I guess they can get away with it in that respect. But it's a very interesting kind of thing to talk about, because it is one of those where I guess when you see Beckham's getting paid 40 million to be in the game, it does beckon the question of why players aren't getting paid themselves to feature in the match, in the game itself. But I think this one will be a long procedure. I know there's a lot of footballers that are kind of agreeing with Bale and Zlatan to a certain extent, but I think at the end of the day, if you look at it, FIFA have the rights to use those players in game. Just it all depends on whether the laws change on how they can use a player, whether they can use them to promote stuff that's marketable for FIFA, for example, with their game in terms of promotional cards and things like that. But that's a talk for another day. I think, in fact, that might be something to do on like a special podcast episode or something. It'd be interesting to bring that up as a long-term conversation. But as it currently stands, we've not really had any other chances across the board over these last few minutes. Chris has put Keith Curl, first game as Tranmere boss, and Carlisle players gift them the win. It's like pack of sweets. If you want a description of Carlisle, that is it. Well, it's unfortunate, Chris. We don't like seeing our local teams losing. As I said, my local team being Rotherham, very frustrated tonight that they lost against QPR. But you have to keep belief in your local team, Chris. As I said, believe in your local team. That's all you've got to do each week. It is tough right now, as I said, very inconsistent, which when you want to be up at the top end of the table, you've got to get a good string of results going. I know exactly how you feel when we were in League One and things like that, but keep the belief, because, you never know what could happen at the end of the season. You might be celebrating your local team, Carlisle, getting into the playoffs, maybe winning it, going up as champions. You never know, indeed. But, of course, there's still so much of the season to go. You have to keep your eyes out on it and see what happens. But we are now around 25 minutes left across the board in the Champions League. It's gone a little bit quiet for now in these Champions League fixtures. Still 1-0 to PSG as Neymar rolls around on the floor as if he's been shot, and he's still on the floor, and he should probably just get up because he's not tricking the referee in this situation. Diving get. Manchester United 3, Istanbul Basaksehir 0. Of course, Manchester United doing very well in that game so far. No goals in the second half of that match so far. Dortmund 3-0 up against Club Brugge. Good game that one's been so far for Dortmund. Haaland has 2 goals to his name. Certainly good indeed. Ferenc Varos still holding on in that match to get a potential point against Juventus, which is certainly good indeed. Dynamo Kiev, Barcelona, we've got a penalty in this game. Barcelona have a chance here to make it 3-0. I was just about to say it's 2-0, but it's just come up on my screen saying it's a penalty. And to stand over the penalty is Martin Braithwaite. Can he get his second goal of the night in this fixture? Big chance here for Barcelona to really kill this game off with about 20 minutes of action left. Martin Braithwaite just composes himself. The referee organising the players. He's taken the penalty. Oh, it's a great penalty indeed from Martin Braithwaite. He's on for his first and probably last Barcelona hat-trick in his career. It's 3-0 to Barcelona. And just looking at the penalty, yeah, it was the right decision in the end. He was pulled down in the box. It looked like it was Mikalenko who just pushed him over in that situation. And he takes the penalty, puts it into the bottom left-hand corner. The goalkeeper goes the right way, but ultimately just enough power on that shot means that my Braithwaite is on for a Barcelona hat-trick. It's for Barcelona 3, Dynamo Kiev 0. And if you're a FIFA fan, I've just seen KD put in the chat, team with the group stage Braithwaite. Hell yes, that is what the fans want. We've had a few changes though in the Lazio Zenit game. Lazio making a few changes in this one. Lucas Leiva and Lazari coming off. Mohamed Fares and Daniel Catali coming on in that match. So a few changes in that game with Lazio 3-1 to the good with 20 minutes left of action. Be interested to see how that goes down there. Chris has put, I can't be bothered having all this season winning and losing. I should maybe buy whole Carlisle squad yo-yos because that's what they are. You've got to believe in them, Chris. Believe in your squad. And then Chris has put, Martin Braithwaite, 2021 Ballon d'Or winner. Well, unfortunately, he can't get the Golden Boy award because he's a little bit too old now. But I think he should be up there for the Ballon d'Or at this rate. Incredible performance from the Dane forward tonight. But we've got a chance here for PSG, Leipzig to come forward. Haidara lays the ball towards Angelino in the box. Good chance for Haidara to hit this on the volley. He takes the shot, but it's blocked in the end by Rafinha, who's just come onto the pitch a moment ago. Good chance here maybe for Leipzig to get that equaliser. Ball's on the right wing. Going to be laid towards Upamecano, and doesn't look like there's going to be much coming from this opportunity for Leipzig. But there has been a chance in the game between Dortmund and Club Brugge. As it stands, Dortmund win that game 3-0. Brugge looking pretty much done and dusted in terms of trying to get a Champions League spot. Is it a chance for Brugge or are Dortmund looking for a fourth, Rowan?
Haaland had a chance to get his hat-trick ball over the top, and he just finds himself in acres of space. But he just takes a horrible first touch. He managed to get it back under control. By the time he's done that, he's too close to Mignolet. Tries to stab it past him. Doesn't. Mignolet gets hand, parries away. Haaland's still got the ball. Passes it through to Thorgan Hazard, who takes a shot. And it's blocked. But Haaland's so close to getting that third goal. It'll come, I think. 20 minutes.
Certainly. 20 minutes. Plenty of time for him.
I don't think there's been any change in this game yet. Like, I've kept my eyes on. I think both teams just decided not to make any changes.
Which, as we said, I think we might see Yusuf Moukoko come on at some point in the match, maybe with about 10 to 5 minutes left. But
so Belanta came off for Ritz, and Kremenic came off for Badger.
There we go. So a few changes.
No Dortmund ones yet.
Interesting. We've got a few about 20 minutes left, so we'll probably see some changes at some point. But as it currently stands, Dortmund 3, Brugge 0. Haaland potentially on for another hat trick. Thank you very much, Rowan. As always, we'll have to see if he gets a hat trick with just under 20 minutes of action left in that one. So across the board now, let's have a look at the scores with 20 minutes left. If you're on in stream, as always, do leave a like, subscription if you have enjoyed the Gold Show so far. We are about 9 subscribers away from 1,300 subs. PSG still 1-0 up against RB Leipzig. I've got to say they've not done much in the second half so far, PSG. Leipzig really pushing for equaliser, but it's, as I said in the first half, they just don't seem to have that firepower up top anymore, which, of course, we could have seen if they kept Timo Werner, which is a real shame for them indeed. He's been flying at Chelsea over these last few weeks. Manchester United still 3-0 up against Istanbul, as are Dortmund against Club Brugge, as are Barcelona now against Dynamo Kiev. All 3 of their goals coming in the second half. Good performance from them in the second half, really poor in the first. Performance of the night from Ferencváros, you could say. 1-1 against Juventus as it currently stands in that match. And Lazio 3-1 to the good against Zenit St. Petersburg. Still plenty of time in that game for Zenit to try and get back into it, although it is looking very doubtful indeed. But we've had our first substitution of the night for Dortmund in that game against Club Brugge. Meunier has come off. Mateo Mori has come on in that game. And then Emre Can has come on for Thomas Delaney. So 2 substitutions there for Dortmund. Remember, they can make 5 substitutions in the Champions League. So we could see a few more subs with about 17 minutes left of action. Prishka is in the chat. He says, Bruno is on fire tonight. I'm watching you live in Charidzi, Zimbabwe. Good to see you. Thank you very much, Prisha, for joining us tonight. The dedication to join us. Hope you're enjoying the performance tonight from Manchester United, because they are on fire. And if you haven't seen Bruno's goal, then check it out on Twitter, because it's an absolute pile driver of a goal. It's a really, really incredible finish that I think will be up there for goal of the season. Peter's put in the chat, I pulled a twitch in my back. Hey, we'd like to see that. And then Peter's put, how do a gang say how are you? WhatsApp. Whether that one goes down, oh well, I don't know why. I don't know if it will go down well. I kind of think I need the goal sound, the sound there of the boom every time we have the jokes come in. But yeah, we've got a few more minutes left of these games. As it stands, 17 minutes left on the clock. Of these matches so far, there's not been as much action in the second half of these games, but still time for a few more goals. Question is, are we going to see a few more? Leipzig trying to come forward here in this game, going long ball towards the path of Yusuf Poulsen, but he's not really done much in this game, and I don't think it's, to be honest, Poulsen's fault either. I think the front three has been fairly quiet tonight, and then Kunku, Dani Olmo and Poulsen, just not much coming from those players in that front three. We've got a few substitutions in the Lazio game, as Yuri Zirkov and Erikin have come off the pitch. Sardar Azmoun and Shamkin has come onto the pitch. Or, if you want to read on my nose, is Zirkov, Erikin off, Sexy and Shamkin is on the pitch. Now, I don't really know who's Sexy. It probably isn't Sardar Azmoun. I'd assume it's probably someone else. I don't know who it could be, but Azmoun, he's on the pitch. He's been described to as sexy by Kieran L. So, yeah, he comes onto the pitch in that game. Can he be the difference maker to try and get Zenit back into the match? We will have to find out indeed, because they've got about 15 minutes left to get back into that match. No pressure on Zenit St. Petersburg. Let's have a look at the comments, see what you guys have been saying. Carl's put Preston wanted to start fresh So moved to North Carolina to write a new chapter. The end. Unbelievable. Unbelievable, Kyle. Bringing the jokes tonight. Jesus Christ. I'll give you credit for that one. I think we've got a chance here for Leipzig. Ball's lofted into the box towards the path of Yusuf Poulsen, who can't get his head onto the ball. He's been walking around the pitch for the majority of the night, although another ball's come in here towards Danny Olmo, and he's going to go out of play, I think, for a corner. Big chance here. Soloff also coming onto the pitch too. Can he get a goal in this match? We've had a few substitutions in the game between Man United and Istanbul, this time for the away side. Calderim has come onto the pitch for bowling goalie. And Giuliano's come onto the pitch. Ozcan has come off. How's Giuliano not starting a game like this? I've got no idea. Great player on his day. But we've got the corners just come in, by the way, for RB Leipzig. Really awful. Really awful corner there from Nkunku. Goes straight out of play for a goal kick. Really poor tonight from Leipzig. And as I said, I really do think PSG is going to go on and win this. And it's been a pretty poor game tonight, to be honest. Not really much from either side. PSG not having many chances. Leipzig having lots of opportunities to go forward, but nothing really coming out of the game. And it's probably been a little bit frustrating for Nagelsmann tonight because they've looked the better team, but you can quite clearly tell they're missing Timo Werner massively. Or else we could have maybe seen 1 or 2 goals in the game from them. But yeah, what can you do? You can't sit there now and complain about the fact that you haven't got Timo Werner. He's long in the memory, but there's a chance here for PSG to come forward. And Mbappe on that left wing trying to spray a ball into Neymar, who's in the middle just outside of the box, and his pass there from Mbappe is just a little bit too weak and goes wide of the mark. Wasted opportunity there for PSG to really kill the game off. But we are going to go to Kieran D. And there has been the chance in this game between Manchester United and Istanbul Basaksehir. Was it a chance for a 4th goal, Kieran?
Well, it is actually a goal. It's 3-1.
It's
a free kick, I think, from... I'm not quite sure who's taken it, Josh. But it's caught David De Gea out. And he saved it past his line. And it's 3-1. And I'm not going to lie, the goal has been coming. They've been all over us for a fair moment of time, and thanks to the technology, it's 3-1.
Deniz Turuk was the one that took the free kick. Big chance indeed there, though. But I'm just seeing the free kick right now and just looking at it. Oh, it's one of those, isn't it? Where, in fact, looking at it, originally you think it's a fairly decent save, but in the end, obviously the referee looks at the watch. Good, obviously recognition there of the watch technology to be able to call whether it's over the line or not. But David De Gea there, yeah, it's over the line. Looking at it, it's very. I was about to say unlucky, but I wouldn't say it's unlucky.
I think he just caught him out. But yeah, a bit of unneeded pressure really for 14 minutes left. If they get another one, then yeah, it's game on.
Certainly indeed. Thank you very much, Katie. As always, they're back in the game technically 3-1 to Manchester United still. And as Kieran D perfectly put there, it is unwanted pressure on the home side with 15 minutes left. It could spur a potential chance of a comeback for Istanbul Basaksehir. Could Manchester United, though, maybe get a 4th goal in the game? We will have to find out indeed and really kill the game off because, well, we saw Istanbul get a victory against Manchester United before, but they've got to try and get 2 more goals in 14 minutes to at least get 1 point on the board. David De Gea there will be a little bit frustrated with how that free kick has gone in. But do you know, it's just a really good free kick from Deniz Turuk, and ultimately, as we said, not really unlucky, deserved. And, well, by the time David De Gea has tried to punch the ball out of the goal, it's miles over the line anyway. But a 3-1 in that match with about 15 minutes left to go, just under 15 minutes to be precise. It'd be about 12 minutes of the match left. We'll make for an interesting grandstand finish at Old Trafford. As for a grandstand finish between PSG and Leipzig, no, there will probably not be a grandstand finish here because it's been quite boring. Not much going on at all in this game. As I said, Leipzig missing a lot of opportunities tonight. And when I mean missing opportunities, they've not had a great deal of opportunities. It's more the chance that they've been missing passes in the final third to get the ball towards the likes of Poulsen and Soloff. And ultimately tonight, it looks like PSG are going to come out with a victory, although they've still got 10 minutes left, so we can't count them out. It's still only 1-0 to the French champions, so lots of time left still for Leipzig to try and get an equaliser in this match, but we'll have to see what happens there. As for Dortmund, they're 3-0 up against Club Brugge, so we'll have a look at the table in a minute and see what's going on across the board in these matches. But there has been a yellow card for Martin Skrtel in the game between Man United and Istanbul Basaksehir here. I believe it was a foul on Edinson Cavani, which is what's been given for there. So a yellow card for the former Liverpool centre-back, Martin Skrtel. Peter's put in the chat, a few women walked into a field, then 2 men said, "You're not allowed in. It's a man's field." Jesus Christ. Unbelievable. And then the second one, to really quench your thirst for the jokes tonight. The Leipzig and Salzburg players' favourite drink is Red Bull. I think that's just more of a fact than it is a joke, that one. But yeah, a few jokes in there to lighten the mood for those fans, of course, if you were on the losing side of the Champions League teams tonight, indeed. I will give you credit for that Mansfield one. I thought it was quite a decent one. Even Kieran has put in the chat, that Mansfield one was good. So you've got the appreciation of Kieran L there, Peter. Loving it indeed. We've got a chance here, though, for PSG to come forward. And it's Adley who's come on. Been taken down in the box, but the referee isn't giving it as a penalty. And we're going to play on here. Sabitzer coming forward. And it looks like, actually, the referee has just stopped play for a moment. Could we see this being potentially given as a penalty? Referee just blown his whistle in this situation. And Rowan has put, we aren't going to actually see Moukoko tonight because there's been a few changes for Dortmund. Let me quickly put that on the screen. Paslak has come on for Rafael Guerreiro. Julian Brandt has come on for Reina. And Royce has come on for Ireland. So we aren't going to see Moukoko tonight, which is a real shame indeed. Thought we were going to see the youngster come on. But we are going to go over to Kieran because there's been a chance of the game between United and Istanbul Basaksehir here. Kieran, could it have never been 3-2?
It should have probably been 3-2, I'm not going to lie. Edin Bishka cuts in from the right-hand side onto the left. And just, oh, Jesus Christ, our defence our defence is having a right one here. Cuts onto his left foot and curls one. And it hits the crossbar. But, yeah, Harry Maguire is the word I'm looking for there. Just collided with his other centre-half partner, and Demba Ba almost scored. So I don't know what's happened, but it's gone from very bad to looking very good to looking very bad. So 10 minutes left. Please don't concede another one.
Very nervy indeed. And well, I mean, that chance there for Vishka, my lord, that was a really good opportunity, as you said, hit the crossbar in the end there. But big chance for Istanbul to get back into the match. They are looking the stronger of the two sides in the last 10 minutes. As it currently stands, Manchester United 3, Istanbul Basaksehir 1. Thank you very much, KD, as always. Very nervous times if you're a Manchester United fan. Of course, KD, being a Man U fan, he will be nervous with 10 minutes left of that match. And Demba Ba nearly scoring as well. That had been 2 goals in 2 Champions League matches against Manchester United. As we've got a change here, Marco Verratti is coming onto the pitch for the first time in quite a while, being out with an injury. He comes onto the pitch for Ander Herrera, which is certainly good for PSG fans to see him returning to the side after a bit of a spell out. We've had a change in the game between Lazio and Zenit. Of course, Lazio started to rest some players now. It doesn't look like Zenit are going to be able to get back into this match. Ciro Immobile coming off, Vedat Mariki coming on in that match. And then there's been a change in the Manchester United game, just as we left Kieran. Nemanja Matic has come on, Martial coming off. So looking a little bit more defensive there, Manu, trying to hold on and make sure that Istanbul do not get back into the match with a few minutes of action left in that one. We are around 7 minutes away from full time in tonight's matches. If you have enjoyed the Gold Show tonight, then remember to do leave a like and a subscription. As always, we're only a few subscribers away from 1,300 subs, and you can join us again tomorrow night for the UCL Gold Show. We will all be back again, including Will, who will be joining us for the Gold Show. Some big matches tomorrow night. That includes the likes of Bayern Munich, Red Bull Salzburg, Liverpool, Atalanta, and Inter Real Madrid. Should be some good games across the board tomorrow evening on our Champions League Goal Show. We'll be live once again from 7:45 on the Sports Corner YouTube channel. So do not miss it if you want your fix of Champions League goals and drama. We certainly do love to bring the hype indeed. Let's have a look at Peter's jokes. He's put 2 more in the chat to quench our thirst for jokes. Peter's put the Club Brugge players are Bruges all over. Peter's then put Mason loves amount of food. Okay. And then Carl's put Henry Ford made sure everyone kept focus to make sure their cars are made safely. Honestly, the jokes are coming out tonight. The jokes are coming out. If you want to see Kieran's reaction, there you go. Hands on his face right now over that joke, Kyle. But he's smiling. He's smiling. He's having a laugh. He appreciates your jokes. And we appreciate your jokes indeed. Unbelievable. We've got a yellow card here, though, for Marco Verratti. He's been on the pitch for probably about, a minute or 2 minutes, and he's already got a book in. Haidara being fouled, it looks like here. And, well, it's a poor foul there in the end from Marco Verratti. And he goes straight into the book after, about a minute or two of being onto the pitch. And looks like there might be another card coming out here. Is this going to be a red card, potentially? No, referee just pulling someone back there for a second. I don't know what's really going on. But let's go over to Kieran because we'll have a look in a second and see what's going on there, because it looked like the referee was pulling out another card. He isn't in the end. But let's go over to Kieran because there's been a chance in this game between Lazio and Zenit St. Petersburg. Does Zenit get back into it, or is it another chance for Lazio?
It's another chance for Lazio. Let me just move the glass out of shot. It's been a bit dead since the early goal. I think it really killed the momentum of Zenit, but Cataldi through-balled Marikian. Kuzakov, to be fair, has not really put a foot wrong tonight. He came out and smothered it really well, and the ball was free in the box, and Rakicki just managed to turn it past his own post for a corner. But a good chance for Lazio, and Zenit haven't really offered much in this second half.
Very good chance indeed. Thank you very much, Kieran. As always, Zenit could have maybe had a chance for a potential comeback, but unfortunately time is running out. It doesn't look like we're going to be seeing a comeback tonight from the Russian champions. With the Italian side, Lazio, looking like they're going to get 3 points on the board. Certainly good for them indeed. We've had a few changes in the game between Dortmund and Bruges, specifically for the away side. Lang and Diatta have come off. Okereke and Schrijvers have both come onto the pitch. Of course, as Bruges look to get a few maybe consolation goals at best. And there's been a yellow card in that United Istanbul game. A yellow card for Tekdemir, who's gone into the book there late on in that match, with about 4 minutes of action left across the board in tonight's fixtures. To keeping my eyes out on that Juventus Ferencváros game. Juventus still, as it currently stands, 1-1 against the Hungarian side. It would be an incredible feat tonight for the Hungarians to come away with a point on the board. Andrea Pirlo not doing the best of jobs so far, in my opinion, with Juventus. But can you blame him? He was literally drawn in at the last second to take over the club. And it's been a pretty tough start for them so far, but this would be a very poor result indeed against the Hungarians, who will take a historic point away if they can hold on with 3 minutes left of action. We've got another yellow card in the game between United and Istanbul. This time it's gone to Harry Maguire. Of course, that's now 2 players in that back line with a yellow card. Don't want to see any red cards in that game later on. But back to this PSG Leipzig game, we've got 3 minutes of action left here before we maybe get, I'd probably say, about 1 or 2 minutes of additional time, and it is all Leipzig in these last few moments of the game. And if we're being honest, it's all Leipzig, but they're doing nothing with the ball. It's been pretty much played for the last 5 minutes in the midfield, and they have done nothing with the ball. It kind of sums up how they've been tonight. Very, very poor in terms of opportunities. But a game that hasn't been poor of opportunities is the game between Lazio and Zenit, because we've had another chance. The question is it another chance for Lazio, Kieran?
No, it's a chance for Zenit, and if this one would have gone in, it would have really made an interesting last couple of minutes to this game. But it was some nice build-up from Zenit for the first time in this half. They got it into Zuba's feet, and Zuba's been a nuisance, as he always is. He then backheels it through to Driussi, who hits it across the keeper with his left foot, but Pepe Reina saves well. And I know, Josh, it's 3-1. It's a bit boring. You're yawning over there, but it'll be a good ending, I promise.
Certainly not a boring game in comparison to this one, but as it currently stands, Lazio 3, Zenit 1. Who would have thought tonight that Lazio-Zenit would have been one of the better games? You would have expected PSG and Leipzig to be, but it proves that not every game is always going to be good when you've got 2 good sides playing, but 2 better sides playing tonight in Lazio and Zenit. As it currently stands, 3-1. Thank you very much, Kieran. As always, we might have 1 or 2 more chances before the end of that match. We just had an opportunity, long-range effort from Marcel Sabitzer. It was a low-driven effort, very similar to the effort that we saw in the game between Lazio and Zenit. With, I can't remember his name now, Parola, who had the chance. It was a low-driven effort, but it went a little bit too wide of the mark, not really testing there for Kayla Navas at all. We've got a few more jokes in the chat from Peter, 2 more for you. I walked out this morning, wet and windy. I said to my family, it's Grimsby out here. And then the other one, oh, God, Peter. A father and his son walked by the sea, and his son goes, Dad, what's that in the sea? He replied, son, they are swans, and this is a swan sea. Oh, bloody hell. Bloody hell. There's been substitutions in the game between PSG and RB Leipzig. Neymar's come off the pitch. Neymar has come off, as I said. Sarabia coming on for the last couple of minutes of the match. Oh, God, Peter, unbelievable. Stealing the show tonight, what can I say? More enjoyable than the PSG Leipzig game for sure. But yeah, there's another change as well. Mbappe coming off the pitch too. Moise Kean coming on with a few minutes left of that match. But there has been a goal elsewhere. Dynamo Kiev and Barcelona. Remember when I spoke to you before, the last goal of the game, it was 3-0. And Braithwaite was on for a hat-trick. I'm just seeing the goal right now. Has Braithwaite got a hat-trick? The answer is... well, of course not. Why would he get a hat-trick? It's Antoine Griezmann. He's come onto the pitch. It's 4-0 to FC Barcelona. And, well, they were 3-0 up. They brought a few of their big boys on in that match. And Antoine Griezmann there getting a late goal in that game to just, bring a bit more dominance to the scoreline. And Barcelona 4-0 to the good tonight. Really disappointed evening for Kiev. As I said, it was probably their best chance of beating Barcelona tonight with a much weakened side. But good result tonight and a goal for Griezmann, which will certainly do his confidence very, very well indeed. We've had a yellow card in the game for Deniz Turuk, who scored the free kick a couple of moments ago for Istanbul Basaksehir. But we are getting now towards the 90th minute of these matches tonight. How the hell have we got 6 minutes of additional time in this fixture? I have no idea, but the referees awarded 6 minutes of additional time. Can RB Leipzig get an equalising goal in this game? We will have to find out indeed. Time is running out. We've got 3 minutes of additional time in the game between Lazio and Zenit St. Petersburg. We've also got 3 minutes of additional time between Dortmund and Bruges. And we might have a little bit more time, maybe 1 or 2 extra minutes, the Manchester United game, because that did kick off a little bit later in terms of that second half. So we might have a few more minutes. Maybe we won't, of course, depending on the amount of additional time that's added. But PSG coming forward here. So I'll be trying to lay a ball off into Moise Kean, but nothing comes of it. But we have had a goal in the game between Juventus and Ferencváros in the 90th minute. And, of course, it was going to end with Juventus winning. It's 2-1 to Juventus, and it's the man that loves being offside. He certainly hasn't been offside, though, tonight. Alvaro Morata came on late in the game. He has just got Juventus a late win in the match. And unfortunately, there will be no Ferencváros party tonight unless they can get something late on here. It's a really good header in the end there from Morata. And you've got to say, Debuche, the goalkeeper, should have probably saved it. He got his hands to the ball and then just spilled it into the back of the net. Very unfortunate indeed. But they tried their best tonight. And it was a valiant effort from Ferencváros. But once again, it looks like they're not going to be coming away with any points. 2-1 to Juventus. Alvaro Morata with the goal. And then we've got 4 minutes of additional time in the game between United and Istanbul Basaksehir. Can Basaksehir get 2 goals late on? Or I would probably assume United will hold on in that match. But we've got 4 minutes left here of the game between PSG and RB Leipzig. PSG with a free kick. Just outside the box on the right wing. They're looking to take this towards the corner flag and just waste some time now. Of course, it's a very tight lead in this match. And, of course, we don't really want to see... Well, I think we do want to see RB Leipzig go forward is what I wanted to say. But as for PSG, they don't want to give the ball away in stupid positions and let the German side counter-attack. But it is full-time in one of the first games tonight, full-time between Dortmund and Club Brugge. Dortmund 3-0 to the good in that match. We'll talk to Rowan in a little moment's time with that result. Good performance tonight from Dortmund. Haaland couldn't get a second hat-trick in a row, but he did come out tonight with 2 goals. So the Golden Boy 2020 continues on his impressive run of form. We've just had a goal in this, a goal in one of the games, I believe, in a moment. And I thought Rafinha put the ball into the back of the net. I thought we had a goal in this one, and it was on the right wing, and somehow Glatzy's made a really good save indeed. And just as I've said that, there is a goal in one of the games. Manchester United, Istanbul Basaksehir. If Manchester United kill this game off or Basaksehir, making it dangerous with 2 minutes to go, Kieran.
Fuck me, I've just seen one of the rarest sights in football. Daniel James has scored a goal.
Wow. Jesus.
Yeah, my reaction at precisely. It's a really good counter-attacking move. Donny van der Beek finds Mason Greenwood, acres of space, sprinting through. He's one-on-one and Dan James is in the box. It's a decent finish, to be fair, from Daniel James to beat the goalkeeper. I expected him to miss, to be honest. But yeah, game over 4-1. I did have Itty Shars towards the end of that half, but it's gone now.
Good result indeed for Manchester United tonight. 4-1 in the end. It's going to end unless anything changes. Thank you very much, KD, as always. Daniel James scoring. If you're a Manchester United fan, you're going to have to savour that moment because you will never see him score in your lifetime again. He's got a goal to his name. Very good goal indeed. It's a simple finish for the Welshman. And it's, of course, 4-1 in that game. We had a chance here for Sarabia to really seal the deal in this match. It was a header down from Moise Keane inside the box. The Spanish attacking midfielder / winger tried to hit the ball on the volley, but ultimately just a little bit too weak in the end. It went straight into the hands of Galactic. And we are down to the last minute as Neymar and Mbappe tried to spur on the PSG side to a victory. It'd be a very big victory indeed in terms of the complexion of this Champions League group. Still 1-0 with about 50 seconds left of action, but they're coming forward here. RB Leipzig could be the last chance of the game. Ball lofted long towards the path of Yusuf Poulsen. His header is pretty poor, but Upamecano's now as a makeshift striker. Ball laid off in the end to Nkunku. At the edge of the box for Sabitzer. Takes the shot on the volley. It's deflected, and they're trying to come forward once again. Time running out here. This could be the last chance of the game for Leipzig to get something. They've really got to put the pressure on PSG now. Long ball into the box. Trying to lay it towards the path of Poulsen. It's come down for Soloff, just outside the box. Now it's Angelino on the left wing. Ball sprayed towards the path of... it's towards Nkunku, but his touch is a little bit poor and it's cleared out of play. And I think that's the last chance we're going to get at the match here. Upamecano's just got the ball back and the referee does blow his whistle, and Paris Saint-Germain have a massive victory in the complexion of the group. And, well, Neymar's thrown his water bottle everywhere as if they've just won the Champions League final. But look, this group is a tough one right now. And I think this was the game PSG had to win if they wanted to get through to the next round and, well, try and get something in this Champions League group. And it was a big result indeed. 1-0, not the most convincing result tonight for Paris Saint-Germain, but they come out with a 1-0 win indeed. Full time of the game between Lazio and Zenit, it ends 3-1 there. And full time between United and Istanbul means that we are done and dusted in tonight's Champions League goals show. Full time scores across the board tonight. You will be able to see on your screen in a moment. It was a certainly eventful night of action indeed. So full time across the board, it means tonight, as you can see, in our early kickoffs, Krasnodar 1, Sevilla 2, a 95th minute winning goal from Sevilla in that game. Great result for them indeed. It puts them through to the knockout stage of the competition. Chelsea also getting their place in the knockout stage of Olivier Giroud with a late winner in that one means that both those sides are through in their group. I'll quickly go over the groups in a moment. And then the other results, of course, PSG with a tight 1-0 win against Leipzig tonight. They certainly didn't look impressive, but they came out with the result, and that's all that will matter for the French champions. Manchester United 4, Istanbul Basaksehir 1. Manchester United were flying in the first half. Istanbul trying to come back, but ultimately in the end, Manchester United were just too strong for the Turkish champions. It ends 4-1 in that match. Dortmund looking strong tonight, 3-0 win against Club Brugge, 2 goals for Haaland and a sumptuous free kick from Jadon Sancho. Juventus 2, Ferencváros 1. Ferencváros looked like they were going to get an incredible point tonight against the Italian side. Ultimately, though, it was Alvaro Morata in the 90th minute with a winning goal to seal 3 points for Juventus. Kiev, they fell apart tonight, 4-0 win for Barcelona. There were no goals in the first half. Then they ran riot, Braithwaite with 2. A goal for Dest and a goal for Antoine Griezmann means that Barcelona come out with a good result tonight. And Lazio with a 3-1 win against Zenit St. Petersburg. A good result tonight for the Italian side, which means you can see with the groups as it currently stands across the board in the Champions League after tonight's fixtures, Dortmund will go top of their group on 9 points. Lazio in second. There is now a gap between second and third. Bruges go into third place on 4 points. Of course, they stay in third place. And Zenit, they've got a lot of work to do now because if they want to get that Europa League spot, they're going to have to beat Bruges. They're 3 points behind them. It's going to be very tight indeed between those two sides for that Europa League spot. Group G is done and dusted now. Juventus and Barcelona are through to the next round of the competition. Good result tonight for Barcelona. Good result for Juventus as well. It is now a fight between Kiev and Ferencváros for the Europa League spot. I think there'll be a lot of people that will be hoping that Ferencváros could try and get that spot. Of course, Dynamo Kiev, very, very disappointing tonight. Group H, Manchester United top of the group on 9 points. Remember, all they need now is pretty much a win to cement their place in the next round. PSG on 6 points. They go into second because of their head-to-head record against RB Leipzig. They're in third place, which means they'll go into the Europa League group stages. But don't count out Istanbul Basaksehir here because they are on 3 points. And, well, you never know. They could get a result elsewhere, which would make things very interesting indeed with 2 more match days to go of action. Remember, there's still plenty more content to come on the channel. We are live tomorrow night with the other group stage fixtures, and keep your eyes out because there's some good matches indeed. Just looking at the groups tomorrow night, Group A, we will see the likes of Bayern taking on Salzburg as he currently stands Bayern with a 5-point advantage at the top of Group A. Atletico Madrid, they have got some work to do in the Champions League. They've not looked convincing so far in their group. Group B is a tight one indeed, this one as well. Real Madrid currently sat third. Borussia Mönchengladbach sat top of the group. They're facing off against each other tomorrow night. That'll be a mammoth fixture. Can Shakhtar beat Inter? It's a tough group, that one. That's really going to be an interesting one to keep your eyes out on as we get towards the back end of the Champions League. Group C, Manchester City flying away with things in that group pretty much through to the next round of the competition already. Porto in second on 6 points, Olympiacos on 3. And right now, Marseille, the only team to not score in the Champions League so far. Can they change that record in their next fixture? And then Group D sees Liverpool, Ajax, Atalanta and Midtjylland. Very tight between Atalanta and Ajax. Liverpool looking like they will go through to the next round of the competition. So there we go. That is tonight's action across the board in the UEFA Champions League. Let's very quickly bring the boys back. Of course, guys, tonight certainly got eventful games across the board, didn't you?
Yeah, I'd say so. Plenty of goals, and that's always what you want. And to be fair, some of them weren't as competitive as you'd like, but still, lots of goals.
Goals are goals.
Absolutely. I mean, start off very quickly. Kieran, Manchester United 4, Istanbul Basaksehir 1. Good first half, very nervous second half, but a good performance overall for Manchester United tonight.
I think first half we were really good. We looked on top of the game. We were first to every ball. Second half, a different story completely. We were really shocking in second half. Not going to lie, the scoreline does flatter us a little bit in the second half. They could have scored a lot more than one goal, but you know what? I'll take it. Take the win. Take the 3 points, and I'm pretty sure just 1 point out of the remaining 2 games would send us through.
You are absolutely correct indeed. So very good position for Manchester United in that group right now. As is a very good position for Dortmund, Rowan. 3-0 win tonight. Haaland winning the Golden Boy Award. Scores 4 at the weekend. Scores 2 tonight. Perfect performance.
Yeah, perfect performance. Did what they had to do. Bruges had moments where they looked good. That Charles de Ketelaere looks like a good young talent. Jadon Sancho, lovely little free kick, which really put the game to bed at 2-0. And Haaland made it 3. That easy little performance. It's the Lazio game, which is going to be make or break.
Certainly is indeed. Big match. That one's going to be in a few weeks' time. And talking about Lazio, of course, Kieran, good performance from them tonight. 3-1 win against Zenit. Looking comfortable now to go through to the next stage of the competition. As for Zenit, things are going to be very tough for them.
Yeah, it was always, for me, coming into this group, the double header against Club Bruges is the one that'll decide the third place. Because, Lazio and Dortmund do look at leaps and bounds above the other 2 teams in the group, and it's probably fair to say tonight that they were by far the better side. Zenit made things interesting, don't get me wrong, but similar to Jadon Sancho's goal, that one just after the half really killed the game, and there was no chance of a comeback after that.
Certainly not indeed. Very lucky for Zenit tonight. They've got a lot of work to do. Of course, do keep your eyes out for that game between Dortmund and Lazio, because there'll be a mammoth fixture in a few weeks' time. But that is pretty much it for tonight's Champions League action. Remember, as always, do keep your eyes out on the channel. There is more footballing content to come. Of course, you see on your screen, we're back tomorrow night from 7:45 with groups A to D with the Champions League goals draw. Some big games going on tomorrow night. And then hopefully, fingers crossed, on Thursday, Europa League game of the week is Nice, Slavia Prague. We should be live from 7:45, me and Rowan, hopefully, if BT aren't twats and allow us to access the streams, because it's been a nightmare right now in the UK to be able to access Europa League games. Bonkers indeed. In terms of other content on the channel, do check out the new episode of the Wrestling Corner that was available this morning. A lot of talk, of course, about the Undertaker's retirement, which is big news in wrestling, of course. So do keep your eyes out with Rowan and Simon. It's a good episode indeed. And then, of course, we've got more content still to come. We've got the episode of the Football Manager series with Villarreal. That's available on the channel. As always, the new episode came up yesterday, so do keep your eyes out for that. And then I believe I was going to say this Sunday as well, we do have the GP race in Bahrain, don't we, Rowan?
We do, yeah. The double header in Bahrain, same track, different layout. So this week it's practically quite simple, very, very, very straight track. We're curvy straight track. Simple racing. Ken Hamilton. Simple. What are you laughing at? I can see.
just the fact that you can have a curvy straight track. That's just entertaining.
Trust me, it makes sense. Can Hamilton just keep on going the train? Can Valtteri at least get a win before the rest of the season? I mean, who knows? It'll be a very interesting weekend for sure.
Be interesting indeed. That is on Sunday, the 29th of November from 2 o'clock. And of course, keep your eyes out as always for plenty more watch-alongs on the channel as we get through the club season. But as for now, very quickly, Casper, cheers, lads. See you tomorrow. And one more joke in the chat. I'm trying to pick out a good one here. Sengizi's going down under.
No, you missed the best one. It's Denver loves going on holiday to Bahrain.
Unbelievable. Thanks for bringing the jokes tonight, Peter. But as always, thanks to everybody who's joined on the Champions League Goals Show. If you're new to the channel, as always, do leave a like and subscription. We are just under 10 subscribers away from 1,300 bars for now. Thank you very much, KD, Kieran, and Rowan, as always.
Thank you, Josh.
Thank you, Josh.
Thank you very much indeed. We'll be back tomorrow. Will join us for the Champions League Goals Show. But as for now, have a great morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are. And we hope to see you again soon. Good night.